Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
What up, though, family? Certified salute to everybody who's tapping in. Much love, much respect. This is how we do it, fam. We about to go ahead and chop it up. We're going to break it down. We're going to do it certified. I see you, my brother EJ. Shout out to you, family. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Mark. We in here real good, fam. And we're going to break down the things that need to be talked about. And we're going to do it in the FBA fashion. Man, is there so much to talk about today. Is there so many things going on right here in the good old United States of America, the country that our people built. The country that we maintain and sustain, that we bring everything that's great to, and everybody else is just behind us in line. But I want to talk about all of these real life vampires, these sinners out here. Whatever name that we associate with these individuals, we're going to expose every last one of them. Because the smoke that they got for foundational Black Americans, it just ain't really going nowhere. And everything that they've been trying to do to foundational Black Americans, it just ain't working. If you look and you observe and you watching and you honest, you see we winning and everybody else is losing. I don't give a damn how they take it. They can take it however they want. They're going to be mad anyway. So the difference between yesterday and today is everybody's mad and we giving them a reason to be mad. See, they was mad before with no reason. Now they understand what it's like to have a reason. And that reason is us being on code, us being on game, us being on point, and not taking no from nobody. And that's a certified foundational Black American way. So as you look and you watch all of these different people out here, they trying to claim our holidays as they own. They out here trying to have Tetherteenth. How many times we told these people that Juneteenth ain't got nothing to do with the Caribbean, and they still out here trying to have Caribbean parties and celebrations on somebody else's holiday? How low budget do you got to be to want to celebrate somebody else's holiday in a land that you ain't even from? Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about these people? And that's why I always bring up these Mayos and these Tethers. And you put them together, you got a Teo. And if you notice, 99.9% of the time where people got some type of animosity towards foundational Black Americans is coming from those two sides. It's going to always be the Mayo. And they bring in all their little puppets who are the Tethers. And they don't like the fact that they're not really getting off. They ain't really winning. And everything that they're doing and all that money that they've invested in to try to stifle, stop, and freeze foundational Black Americans, it just ain't really working. It ain't working at all. So this puts us in the time frame and this puts us in the game where we up and everybody else is down. And they don't like the fact that we're pointing that out as well. So they're trying to come up with all of these different tether holidays, and they just trying to take what foundational Black Americans have already created. They're trying to take what we've already done. And the fact of the matter is that they understand the only way that they can have access to the United States of America is by taking what FBA has already created, because they haven't ever created anything, not in their homelands, not in these homelands. We're going to talk about these tethers. We're going to talk about them. See, in their homelands, they don't have nothing. They ain't never celebrated nothing because they ain't never did nothing. So the only time you'll ever see them celebrating is when they can celebrate something we did. If they had something that they did, then they would be celebrating it by the very fact that we told them over and over and over again that Juneteenth is about foundational Black Americans. It ain't got nothing to do with them. And I just seen across my presser that they're going to have a Juneteenth Caribbean Heritage Celebration. All of that is an oxymoron. There's no possible way that you could do that. That would be like Black Americans going to somebody else's country and trying to celebrate one of their days. Everybody talk about, well, 1804. We ain't never went and tried to celebrate no damn 1804. Hell, they don't even celebrate 1804. So how come they skip over every single thing that they doing in their homeland and always focusing on us? Over in Ghana right now, they putting up Malcolm X statues. How come you want to try to get that FBA energy? Because you're a vampire. And this is what it is, fam. These are these real life sinners and vampires, and they come in the form of tethers, and they come in the form of mayos. And every time you turn around, it's these people trying to get some energy off of foundational Black Americans, because quite frankly, they can't create it on their own. You can look at their homelands and you could already see that they haven't done anything. You can go to wherever they are and you see failure. You got to understand the F in FLIR stands for failure. These people ain't never done nothing. See, FBA, we build and they steal. And we can't wrap our minds around how somebody's willing to take what someone else has done. The fact that somebody can create something and you can just show up and say, no, you know, that's really mine. We don't ever do that. So that's foreign to us. It's foreign to see what someone else is doing and then try to put your name on it. And as we say, that's the lowest of the low. Understand, when you're dealing with a tether, you're dealing with the lowest of the low. It gets no worse. It gets no worse. And the tethers and the mayos, We're going to put them all in one bag because at the end of the day, they all function and operate together. The tethers wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the males trying to put them in position to do what? To steal from foundational Black Americans. So you see them all the way around. I just seen some tethers, and I'm not even lying. These were some Caribbean people, and they was talking about all of these plantations burning like that had something to do with their ancestors. How you seeing a plantation burn in the United States of America and you celebrating you from Barbados? Tell me where that make any sense. Tell me where that adds up. The math don't math with these people, fam. And as many times as we check these folks, they're going to always go into that same bag. It's that same thing because the only thing they know how to do is to wake up in the morning and run and flee and hide and try to steal from foundational Black Americans in the meantime. And they don't like the fact that none of that's going any damn where. When you look across the country and you're seeing all of these plantations going down, you're seeing these lightning strikes, you're seeing trees falling on all these damn museums, that's foundational Black American ancestral energy. That is not Africa. In Africa, let me tell you what's going on over there. We want to talk about updated times. Let me go ahead and give you the current times in Africa. In Africa right now, they're being recolonized. Okay, for the 115th time, for the 11th time, they being colonized right now. They have 3 different people over there fighting each other for the right to see who gonna colonize Africa. Okay, I'll tell you who they are. It's the United States of America. It is China. And now Russia said we want a piece of the pie. So they're over there reliving the Berlin conferences and the scramble for Africa again. How many times you going to scramble Africa, dog? How many times you going to scramble Africa? And in the meantime, in between time, they trying to put up Malcolm X statues and say that Malcolm X is one of their own. They know that ain't the case. They know that's not how it is. And that's how a tether logic operates. It's that very, very vampire energy. It's take from FBA because I can't make it on my own. And whenever the males pop up and they said, who wants to come over here and be elevated above foundational Black Americans, every tether from throughout the whole goddamn diaspora throw their hands up in the air and say, me, boss. And then they come over here and then they get G-checked by FBA. And then they say, y'all being divisive. It's the same game. It's the same game. That right there is Tether Logic 101, broke down in 4 minutes, courtesy of Black Alpha Network, because it's not difficult to understand the way these people function, because these people operate out of being desperate. See, somebody who's desperate, that's the easiest person to identify. And the reason why they're easy to identify is because they don't have no legs to stand on. They want to stand on ours, but quite frankly, they're just not strong enough. And can we get to the point, fam, when we can say it? Tethers have pretty much failed. Tethers have failed. Go back 3-4 years ago. You don't see tethers popping up the way they used to. Tethers was popping up left and right. They was talking reckless to FBA. Now tethers done got some act right. They done got some real act right, and they know where to go, and they know where to sit the hell down, and they know to stay in their place. They thought 3 years ago when they was in that goddamn musty Uber that they was going to disrespect FBA, and we got to checking them. How many tethers have y'all seen on the reparations panels as of late? I haven't seen any. So can we go ahead and chalk that up as an FBA success again, y'all? That the fact that they thought that they was going to get in on reparations, you don't really hear that talk about Haitians and Jamaicans and Africans saying that they need our reparations no more. We pretty much went ahead and put an end to that. We put an end to that. And then they try to run to their white mommy and daddy and try to tell on us. Y'all remember that too, right? Y'all remember that? Every time we check them, they go run to white mommy and daddy and say, FBA is being mean to me. They called me a name in the 1st grade, and I'm still mad about it. And by the way, all that stuff where we call them African booty scratchers in the 1st grade and they still mad, half of their asses didn't come to America until they was in their 20s. Now, I know in their homeland, they may still be in the 1st grade when they're 25, but here in America, your was not in the 1st grade at 25. So stop that. We said something mean to you in grade school and you still mad. All right. First off, that makes you look pathetic that you're still mad, because we roast each other all the time and we still be okay. And that's your tether feelings and emotions getting hurt. Every time you see a tether upset, that's because we have rejected them trying to steal from us. They feel it's their birthright to wake up and take FBA credentials. They can't have them. They think it's their birthright to try to take foundational Black American indigenous status. They can't have it. Our reparations? Hell no. So what's the first thing they do is they start complaining, they start crying, and then they go run to mommy and daddy. And I want y'all to know this. All those little tether teenth, those teen celebrations, those are all brought to you by the Democrats. You see Westmore, non-FBA. You see Hakeem Jeffries, non-FBA. You see the whole Black Caucus, half of them are non-FBA. These are the people that you're seeing on these Caribbean foundational Black American holiday posters. All right. And by the way, that right there in itself is desperation. But these are the people. Who'd you see out there wearing the kente cloths and all of that? That was the Democrats, because they want to Africanize us. All right. They try to Jamaicanize us and Haitian us. And we just keep saying hail to the no. But what they want to do, y'all, they want in their best dreams to make foundational Black Americans give up our citizenship to the United States of America. That's why they talk all that deportation talk. That's why they try to blend us with everybody. That's why Mr. Fufu and Mr. Olaf is running around somewhere right now talking about he gonna celebrate Juneteenth. The reason why they do that, y'all, is because we have what the world covets, and that is being the originators of the United States of America. And that takes me to the Mayos. That's why the Mayos are mad. And the Mayos have been running around here left and right trying to Africanize us. Everywhere you turn, you're going to see a vampire, you're going to see a pan-scam African, or you're going to see a tether. And every last one of them is trying to Africanize foundational Black Americans, because we have what they covet, and that is being the originators, the foundation of this country. And they asses got to go home. They don't like that. And the reason why they don't like that, because that gives us power, and we've been flexing it. We've been flexing our power, and we're going to continue to flex our power, and we're going to continue to show these people that foundational Black American freedmen, we are one of a kind, because we are the one and only. And y'all know how we do on the Black Alpha Network. We're going to chop it on up. Anybody who wants to come on up, represent it to the fullest, come on up. This is Black Americans, foundational Black Americans versus Mayos and Tethers, or anybody else who wants some smoke. We got it today, so bring it. So let's get to the first speaker we have up here. This is our sister right here. Go ahead, my sister. It's all on you.
Okay, so I'm just grateful, and I was wondering, because I know that you're, very busy, and you do a lot of stuff in the community, and I'm just grateful that I'm here. Another thing, one of the things that bothers me as brothers and sisters, we call our children kids. Our children are not billy goats. Stop calling our children kids. Once we change the verbiage of how we interact with each other, that will be more conducive as far as what we need to do as a collective. We don't even know how to address each other. We call our children kids like they are animals. Our children are not animals. They are the original beings of the world. And our children should have respect, as well as their parents and everything else as well. And thank you so much, Black Alpha, and I'm glad you're here. And it's an honor.
Much respect, sister. That's the time we on. Absolutely. We're gonna definitely put that real energy in the air, and that's what we've been doing. If you look at it, we have been changing a lot of the ways that we speak. You could just look right now, Black Americans, where we dropped that term African American. And the reason why they always try to make us African Americans, because people got to understand there's been $1 trillion industry to reclassify us. Y'all tell me, when did they reclassify white folks? Only time they've ever been reclassified is when they came over here as Italians or Irish, and then they just all became white. But that was for the betterment of them, so they can graduate into whiteness. When have they ever reclassified Asian people? We're the only folks that they're always trying to reclassify. And right now, if y'all have noticed, they're trying to reclassify us again. And they're playing these tricks with the census, and they're trying to twist and spin things around. They tried to reclassify us in the 1960s and 70s, and all that was a response to us representing being Americans. They don't want us to be Americans. And this foundational Black American energy and movement is getting so strong simply because, like you said, my good sister, we've changed a lot of the verbiage around. We changed the verbiage. When you call yourself a minority, you're done. It's a wrap for you. You'll never get any power. You'll never be able to accomplish anything. When you call yourself a person of color, what the hell is that? You're done. You're wrapped up. And then you got to remember, anytime that you put yourself and your lineage in a box that billions of other groups are in, you've married their problems now. So now their problems become your problems. That's why they're always trying to get us to fight for people when it comes to deportation. They want us to fight for everybody when it comes to deportation because Black folks was running around saying that they were people of color. Well, there's another person of color, and that's Julio. And Julio and Pedro and Romero is getting their asses deported. And now they're looking at us saying, well, I thought we was all people of color. I thought y'all married our problems. So what we simply did is said, we ain't married to a goddamn thing. We ain't married to none of y'all issues, and we ain't people of color or whatever term that you try to come up with. So now they got to hold them on E's, and them own E's, I guess, is getting quite heavy for them because they got to go home in the process. So this all goes back to a change, and everybody right now, family, is rebranding themselves. Everybody's rebranding themselves. Tethers are trying to rebrand themselves. The dominant society's trying to rebrand themselves. If y'all notice, every single day they got a new term. They said black fatigue. That's some stuff that they just made a few days ago. And then we flipped it back and said male fatigue. I guess that crash landed. That didn't go too good. And that's because our verbiage is getting correct. We airtight, we locked in, and we making sure that whatever goes down is going to go down in our fashion. And y'all know they be listening to us too. That's why they out here saying foundational left and right. You know, now you got people running around here saying a foundational Puerto Rican and a foundational Jamaican. All of that right there is just some type of cheap and petty way of trying to reclassify and murk up what we have created that has been crystal clear. And apparently it's dominating because they have to say what we're saying. Shout out to my brother EJ and his bamboo stick. I see you, brother. They know what it is. And to be honest with you, they better worry about them damn bamboo sticks. Okay, that's what they better worry about, because them bamboo sticks are far more of a bigger problem than foundational Black Americans are to them, because we just waking up every day handling our business. So as they try to rebrand themselves and reclassify us, there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to be throwing at us, family. There's going to be a lot of things that they're going to be throwing at us. And quite frankly, every last thing is going to crash out. Everything. Because if it would have worked, it would have already worked. This generation is just too perfect. This generation is moving too strong. It doesn't really matter at this point what they do. It's all about us. See, that's the thing. Before, a lot of Black folks, we was reactive. Now we proactive. We used to wait to see what they were going to do, and then we would counter that, but we'd always counter it 5-10 years after the fact. Now what we're doing is being proactive. They got to counter us 4 or 5 years after the fact. They're behind, and then even their counter moves aren't working because we sticking and moving. And that's the great thing about being a foundational Black American. And if y'all seen lately, you've had a lot of these tontos who've been coming out here, these $5 Indians, and they've been trying to go at FBA all damn day, because we were all raised and we were all, attempted to be indoctrinated, because we didn't go for none of that. Let's make that clear. They tried to tell us that the original people here in the United States of America was the Red Indian. So now a lot of these Red Indian folks, man, they pissed. Have y'all been seeing them? See, they're so quiet right now. A lot of people aren't even aware of this, okay? So they just out there howling at the moon, and the moon ain't paying it no attention. They're upset because now they're getting the memo that they are not the original people here in the United States of America. That's foundational Black Americans. And the identity of ours that was given to them by the Mayos has now been taken aback. Now it's back in our hands, the rightful owner. That's what we've been doing. Everything is coming back to the rightful owner, y'all. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And like I said, when you see a Mayo and a Tether, they work together. Understand that. See, the Mayos went to all of these other groups and said, who wants to come over here and have FBA identity? And then they all raised their hand and they said, here, $5. Here, Tonto. Here, Poke Ho Hontus. Y'all can have FBA energy. And by all of us standing on business, knowing that we're the originators, we done took that back now. So if you looking, the $5 Tonto, he pissed off right now. Tonto is mad as hell because reality done set in. That you've been running around here perpetrating the fraud. You've been running around here talking about FBAs when really y'all folks is out here copying us. All the Trail of Tears, that's foundational Black Americans. Everything that's indigenous and native, that's foundational Black Americans. Essentially what I'm telling everybody is what
Amen. Yeah.
All day, sister. All day. Essentially, what I'm telling everybody is what Grandma told us has reigned supreme. All the stories that Grandma and Grandpa told us about who we really were, that has defeated all of the propaganda, all the indoctrinations, all of the lies about who the originators are. So now they all got to come to the reality that the identity of being the original person, that was handed to you. And it was really us. And foundational Black Americans, by our research, by standing on business, by pushing principles, we've reclaimed it. And that's why I say this is the reparations generation. We done reclaimed and repaired all the from the past. And now it's in our hands. Let's go ahead and get to the hands. My brother, cut the check. It's on you, family.
Peace, family. Peace, everybody. This is Brother Isaiah. This is my first time on one of your spaces, brother, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the energy you coming through with that Black Panther, that young, just got out of college, fired up, young Panther energy. So I love it. I also love the no profanity thing. Like, that's real. People might have let that go over their heads, but that's real powerful. I wanted to really quickly, the reparations, brother. I think that this is one of the reasons that, like, the Tethers are making such a big push to really try to integrate themselves with us and try to steal our lineage, is because they know how close we are to actually getting them checks cut. So I think that that's one of the things that they fear, and they really see it. So them and the Mayo folks and all of them is scrambling around because they're all working together. If you go back to just when we were enslaved, when our people was enslaved, the first thing the enemy did was find some sort of buffer class called the quote unquote house Negro. This was the first buffer class that they had to thwart the strong foundational Black Americans that wasn't with the madness. So this is, yeah, they've been doing that ever since. First was the house Negro, and then they found this other one, and then they found the Christian, and then they found the Greek Black person in the organization, and they found a PhD and the Tethers and all these different classes that they could use to buffer and put them between us and them, because they know they got a debt to pay. And it's not only monetarily, but it's definitely going to be physically. And I'm going to lay my plane.
Good points, brother. That's a damn good point. Absolutely, family. We can trace this influx of Tethers directly back to when the reparations movement started to take off. You absolutely right, brother. The Mayos, they always find that class of people to insert them in anything that we're doing, because the Mayos would rather have the Tethers being in the position of Black Americans because we're riders and they're not. Simply in the mind of a Mayo, and that's a hell of a place to go into. There's a hell of a lot of casserole and potato salad with raisins and Brussels sprouts, the whole gang of stuff we won't ever eat. But inside of their mind, they got two choices. We gonna have these foundational Black Americans who are the only lineage on the face of the earth that has ever stood up to global supremacy. Or we're going to have all these docile Tethers that when we say jump, they say how high, whether that's a Tether from Jamaica or Haiti or Africa or Asia or the Middle East or whoever. And that's why you can trace it to these people always receiving loans when they come over here that they tried to keep us away from. If you ever look at the benefits and the resources that all of these immigrant groups get opposed to us, that is directly to our brother's point, telling everyone that the dominant society would rather choose the lesser of a rider. Okay, not two evils. They'd rather pick the lesser of the rider, meaning they see FBA, we ride. They see everybody else, they hide. So they want to be around that. So when you see them coming at us funny, that's exactly what it is. And we got to add all of that up. I got my brother Church in here real quick. My sister, I'm going to get to you in 1 second, but I got to let my brother Church go ahead and respond and cook on that. Go ahead, brother.
Salute, family. My apologies for my tardiness. You know, it's that graduation weekend and it's been all kinds of crazy. But my family, I got to tell you, man, no matter whether it is the new Tether or the original Tether, as Alpha call them, or as our brother, still Kevin Trees, he coined the term and I love it so much. He's calling them Putin's Mexicans, the Siberians. Whether it's the Putin's Mexicans or whether it's the new Tethers, we got everyone shook right now, especially with the Putin's Mexicans. We're coming out with so much information that's showing that we are the originators and they are the duplicators, and still who's trying to replace us now? They're getting highly upset because, as I said before, once they find out, and everyone else find out as well, everything that they ever gotten in our name will be snatched from them. And it has to be given to us due to their false treaties and things like that. So we got new Tether shook because we're stopping everybody from trying to get in on our reparations claim. But we got the Putin's Mexicans shook because they know that our reparations claim goes deeper than just slavery. So family, just know that we're standing 10 toes down. And because we're standing 10 toes down, we're seeing from Tethers all the way from 15,000 years ago to tethers up until tomorrow. Sit down because they can't run up. They get done up. And I guarantee you every time they do, that's what's going to happen. But I'll pass it back to you, my brother.
Oh, man, that's A1. That's A1. And by the way, my brother did a phenomenal broadcast on this subject just yesterday. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe and check that out. Yes, a lot of people are not aware right now that Tonto is out there hurt because, no one listens to him. No one cares. They're on some reservation right now, drinking some $5 liquor, getting sandblasted and upset about foundational Black Americans reclaiming what the dominant society gave them a long time ago. Okay, all this lineage check-in and all this heritage and us understanding who we are, that foundational Black American ancestral frequencies that we have been permeating into the world, that got all of these other people done. Like our brother just said, you're going back thousands of years of tethers. See, we just coined the term tether, but tethers have always been here, whether we called them that by name or not. So all of these little $5, $2, $3, they out here breaking down because they have a whole existence based on identity theft. About a year and a half ago, I had a conversation with Cornel West, and I had to check Cornel West because when I brought up reparations, first thing he tried to bring up was the Native Americans. And I don't even like saying the Native American. That's a falsified name, okay, because we are the Native Americans. So we just going to call them the Tontos, all right? So he tried to tell me that Tonto was the original person and how they need to get all this stuff. So he didn't know that I've been on a reservation before. And I understand that they did receive reparations. So after I checked him, he got quiet and shook his head and said, "Oh, you right, brother. Yep, damn, you damn right. You damn right, I'm right. You damn right, I'm right." And he understood after Alpha educated him that these people have been given our identity, and every single thing that you see that they have had has been based off of the shoulders of foundational Black Americans. It was never them, folks. It was never them. And we done got so scientific with our research. See, we ain't just been dropping regular receipts. We done got real geographical with it. If everybody's noticed, and I spoke about this on my live, they don't even kick the whole Bering Straits lie no more. Y'all know that the Mongoloids came over from the Bering Straits about 15,000 years ago. They don't run with that lie no more. And they've been trying to push that lie for a long time. Oh, we get geographical with our receipts, family. Because when they say that those folks came over for 15,000 years, they thought they were just going to tell us and we'd be like, oh, okay, cool. And nobody would give it much thought. Well, we did give it thought. We said, okay, well, the Bering Straits was frozen, so 15,000 years, they couldn't have came before that. Then how do you explain these people who've been here for hundreds of thousands of years? Last time I checked, 100,000 is way more than 15. So they said, damn, these FBAs are too damn qualified and too thorough. And next thing you know, family, now they're trying to say that they started island hopping, and they island hopped all the way from Australia into Brazil. Bull, you know what? Bull, you know what? And we have checked all of that in the process. I got to say it. I got to edit my own stuff out. Bull, okay? And this lets you know every corner they turn, there's a foundational Black American getting them. We got the brothers and sisters who are on game legally. We got the brothers and sisters who are on game with science, on game spiritual. Every single aspect that they turn to, they are meeting resistance. And this is what I call the FBA takeover. And we done took it all back. So while you got Tonto on TikTok and he breaking down and he's upset, foundational Black Americans out here shining like new money. Go ahead, my sister. You can go ahead and chop it on up, family. Go ahead.
All right, so this is the thing right here. So even with going with the HBCU, right? They turn around, they get Michael Vick over here at Norfolk State University, and as well as they have that brother that's going to be over at Delaware State University, and this and that. And then Howard University, they turn around and get that author over there, what he's going to be, saying about our culture and everything else, right? So they're changing the dynamic. You have to understand that Norfolk State University is actually a real HBCU. That's where I went at, I have whatever. One of the things is this right here. They're coming at us from every which way they are going to try to fix the demise that they have came on within our culture altogether. You know what I'm saying? Because they really don't even get the gist of who we are or what's going on in our DNA. They don't know what it is. Brothers and sisters, they make a mockery. They make a mockery. All right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? We was on the other thing, and I went to the store, got me some 1738, and I was up. Y'all talking about fried chicken? Come on, man. What are you talking about? What is really going on? And I tell you one thing, and I'm gonna tell you this, Black Alpha. I swear to God, and I'm gonna tell you, I know who my God is. When I hear you, when I'm listening to you, I really don't have nothing to say because you didn't say it all. You didn't say it all. So what can I say? What do I have to offer in order to make it up? Because you have left the platform. You have told them, and you turn around and make a mockery out of us. I'm just talking about the mockery they make on us as far as what we have to do with the white supremacists and honorary supremacists. I'm talking about the mockery they bring across when it comes to our children, when it comes to our families, when it comes to the relationships that we have. When we are in a relationship with a Black woman and a Black man, you don't even know what to do. But you know what to do. You know how to perform yourself effectively when you go with a chocolate thing. And it's very hurtful. You know, it's very hurtful. I think one of these things is that because society and everything is done, and, you know, I'm not sitting over there saying that, you know, don't date who you want to, but maybe that something that we can do as far as us as a collective, if we can turn around and actually be together, have a format, and what we can do, we lay down on our ground, and you have around the round outside men, on the round the inside women. If you want to bring children and mix or have whatever, and we lay down on the line. We lay down on the line, and we have
Definitely, sister. I gotta land you plane, sister. I gotta land you plane. No, good point. I see where you heading with it.
Well,
go ahead.
Well,
go ahead, wrap it up.
All right. What I'm just trying to, we need to have a healing, because I think that we you know, everybody's laughing or whatever, but this is very serious. We need to have a healing. We need to have a communal healing for ourselves. And we
Definitely.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, most definitely. No, hey, I appreciate the energy. Definitely. Most definitely. That's what we all on right now. We, you know what I'm saying? We putting that frequency out there. So much respect. All right, we got another person on the stage. What is it? Taiwan Gibson, is that your name?
Yes, sir. Mr. Black Alpha, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Lovely. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good, man. You definitely be lighting, definitely lit a fire under me, man. I've been listening to you for a while, man. Keep pounding the pavement out here in these streets. Man, I'm so happy for what y'all doing out here, man. I mean, it's a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. This feel like our civil rights 2.0, but the national objective is reparations. And that's the objective. We ain't letting them muck up the language. We ain't letting them scare us. We out here standing 10 toes down. And let me explain to you what this black fatigue is. When they talk about that black fatigue, basically what they're saying is, why can't we just oppress y'all? Y'all should just be able to let us do what we want to do to y'all. I should be able to say whatever I want to you, unadulterated, and practice unadulterated, unfiltered oppression against you. Why y'all FBAs got to fight back? Why y'all got to show pride in your culture and your heritage? Why y'all have to show pride in yourselves? I want to be able to go back in a time where I could just snatch your daddy out the house. We could just tie him to a railroad and he'll never be seen again. That's what, when they talk that black fatigue, that's what they're really talking about. And also too, Brother Black, I feel like, man, we should get to a point where we got to stop going back and forth with these cats, because a hyena is never going to apologize, intellectualize, explain his way out the jaws of a lion. You either got two choices. It's either you're going to fight your way out of it or go down swinging, or you're going to let the lion swallow you up. That's what it is, trying to debate on supremacists at this point, trying to debate these people. We ain't going to never get nowhere with it. Right now, we got that Rodeny Hinton energy. We got that Carmelo. They set the precedence already. So moving forward, that's the way we should be moving now. Same way like those brothers and sisters in Mississippi. And like you've been saying on all your podcasts, we've been venerating our ancestors, and they've been answering the call. They hear us. They hear us loud and clear. And they've been trying to tell us, if you got us, we got you. And we're seeing it. And man, let me tell you, it brings joy to my heart. And I'm loving every minute of it. As long as we hold them down, we venerate them, we pour out our libation, they got us. And on that note, Black Alpha, I appreciate you for bringing me on. And I'm going to park my Uber on that one.
Much respect, family. Hey, I appreciate your energy just as much, family. Real good fire right there. Our brother made a damn good point, and we was just alluding to that the other day. The reason why you're seeing all this pop off right now with our ancestors is simply because we have been putting in work in the real world. See, the ancestors are not going to serve us when we've been out here talking about vote blue no matter who, or Barack Obama, yes, we can. They was looking at us saying, oh, hell no, we built this whole nation. We was out here riding, and y'all out here talking about Barack Obama and y'all minority. We weren't even running around here saying we was Black Americans. We was out here saying we minorities. So how can the foundational Black American ancestors serve the foundational Black American people who are alive if the people who are alive are saying that they people of color? Now that we have got in sync, we've identified ourselves, now we're in sync and we're on the same page with the ancestors. So that's why you're seeing all these things popping off. And let me tell y'all, they want to say it's about everything other than the ancestors. I've been seeing 100 different things, and it's coming from the tethers, and it's coming from the Mayos, the Teos, the prime suspects, the usual suspects. They've been out here saying it's really the damn Annabelle doll, it's really the Little Mermaid, it's really Popeye the Sailor Man. It's everything other than what they know it is. And the same reason why they try to keep us from our true identity is because they know that empowers us, is the same reason why they're trying to stop us from identifying and knowing that it was the ancestral energy that put in that work. There's always somebody trying to stop foundational Black Americans from reclaiming what's ours, because they understand a lineage that has reclaimed who they are is a powerful lineage. And that's why we're powerful right now. Go ahead, my brother Church.
Yes, sir, family. Man, so many things that was said, so powerful, especially the fact of tapping in. That's one of the major reasons whenever I post a space or post one of our broadcasts, one of the reasons why I use the term tap in, because one of the things that we have been doing is tapping into our lineage, tapping into our ancestries, and that's what's given them the ability to actually shine the way they've been shining. You know, it's very crazy. Like Alpha said, when we was out here running around talking about people of color and all that other stuff, we ain't see any progress. 60 years, we didn't see progress because we was too busy trying to be a part of the peoples of colors. We was too busy trying to be a part of the minorities. We was too busy trying to be everything else except foundational Black Americans who's had their own lineage and their own tie to this land. And since we started saying, you know what, screw everybody else, we need to tap into our greatness. As soon as we say we need to tap into our own greatness, we need to tap into our own energy, our spiritual energy. We've seen everything flip itself upside down over a matter of weeks. It's just been wonderful seeing all the things that's happening in Louisiana, seeing all the things that's happening in Mississippi. We seeing that spiritual energy just glow in a way that we ain't seen glow in some years. And we are the ones responsible for that, family. We're the ones who say, you know what? No, we're not doing no more of this nonsense. If y'all not going to bring it to us the way it's supposed to be brought, if y'all not looking out for us as the builders of this country, no, we're going to shed all of this down. And the ancestors is saying the same damn thing, because justice must be given to the people who are owed that justice. So much love to you for saying that. Also, when we're talking about the reparations situation, you're absolutely right. People need to stop caring about what, and we need to stop having these arguments back and forth with these WS supremacists all damn day, because what's happening is this. When I was growing up, I used to be told all the damn time, you can't argue with a fool because from a distance, you can't tell who the fool is. And we have all the great points. We have all the information. We have all the facts. We shouldn't be arguing with a bunch of people who literally have none and who don't care to have none, who don't care to actually get the information. All they're going to do is continue to perpetuate the same WS stereotypes that they've been perpetuating because they don't want the information. It's not really about being factual at this point. It's about just arguing you down and draining you of your spiritual essence. So family, that was another great point. And the last thing I'll land with this, when the sister was talking about the schools, that's another thing that we got to really start looking at, because as we all know, these HBCUs are the most infiltrated when it comes to tethers. Last week, I had to cuss out one of the directors over at the college at Texas Southern University, because there's a building that showcased all these different flags, not the American flag. The American flag is there, but then you have all these different African flags, all these different Caribbean flags, all these different, even European flags. And I had to really go off on this person and explain to him how that's disrespectful towards the lineage of not just the college, but the people who actually built this land. And so we have to start looking at those situations as well, because these places are breeding grounds for tethers. And that's one of the ways that they basically turn our children into tethers, is by basically telling them, hey, we're all one. That's why we're showcasing them, because we believe in the unity of everybody. But what they're really saying is we believe in putting everybody over you and your experiences and everything that your ancestors have built. So I'll land there, family, and let's get to the hands.
Pure smoke, pure fire, family. Pure smoke, pure fire. Let me send this little shout out to all of the mayos that was running around here, about 2 weeks ago, and they were saying that they was going to openly say the N-word, and it was cool, right? Remember they were saying make the N-word great again? Well, I'm just going to direct all of y'all to Mississippi. So shout out to the Mississippi beatdown. FBA don't play around. Go ahead, my brother EJ, and then we'll get through the rest of the hands. Anybody want to come up? Come up. Let's go.
I got my limited edition, Montgomery boat brawl, chair. Because, the ancestors are very, in tune with us now. And this just goes to show you with all these, plantations getting burnt up. That just goes to show you that the spirit of our ancestors are coming back stronger than they ever have came before. And this just goes to show you, as long as we're on code and we getting rid of the, buck dancers and the tethers, because you can see in the Jumbotron an example of these Africans not taking care of their business in their homeland. Now it's about 2,838 of them in a circle, collecting flies and dodging bamboo swipes from Mr. Charlie, and they just sitting around watching one of their African brothers get the jollof smacked out of their ears and stuff. But this just goes to show you that we can't be in tune with these people. That's why I say that if you're gonna be on code, you got to separate these tethers away from y'all, man, because they breaking y'all down. And we're not finna keep up, and we're not finna be carrying, baggage. And that just goes to show you that while we're in these spaces, and I do have to salute the Church of Black Power, when it goes to show you that when you're going back and forth with these premises, especially about reparations, don't give them the energy that they want. I have little patience for these people, and I have little patience for some of us being in these supremacist spaces, listening to these talk stupid to us all day, then expect to have a constructive conversation with these people. No, they're gonna do what they want to do. So that's why I be blocking people. A lot of people don't like that, but I do what I have to do to keep my patience and to keep my brain from turning into mush applesauce. But it just goes to show you that as long as we're on code, and as long as we're fighting for reparations and trying to get something for the family. Another example I wanted to say is that the brothers and sisters was holding it down at the barbershop. I don't know if y'all seen that video. The brothers and sisters was out there making sure that the premises wasn't just coming around and trying to, just handcuff people and plant crack around kids and stuff. So, they real sneaky like that. They'll just do it in front of you. So, these premises will be in these spaces talking real crazy it's going to take us, real brothers like Black Alpha, the Church of Black Power, Black Truth United, the real brothers who've been here for years on the app putting in work. I ain't talking about these that have been amongst us, because we've been listening to these people for the longest. They claim that they're of the lineage, but then they're infiltrating the lineage. And we know the many examples of these people. We took care of them years ago. And, you have people that hate but still come into your spaces and listen. But this just goes to show you that they want to listen to us so much, but they hate us at the same time, because we got that powerful energy about us. Our ancestors keep us strong, and their ancestors just tell them to keep eating mayonnaise and overdose. With that being said, I'm going to land my plane and let somebody else talk.
EJ, I got a question, family. Now, is your Alabama chair next to your bamboo stick? Where are they positioned at in your house, brother?
I mean, it's close to one of my safes, so I got to keep that extra strong for like the burglars and stuff. Can't be able to reach for one of my power tools, but with the chair like Chris Benoit in the WWF, so it's real close by, brother. Thank you for asking.
It ain't a space without EJ, y'all. Let's keep the hands flowing. Xander, it's on you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, family.
All right. I actually like the direction everything is going right now, because right now, Black Americans, when we start sticking to what our interests are, basically we start to move things globally, because when America can put a Black American face up on all of their evil deeds, it either buys them time or adds legitimacy to it. But now that Black Americans starting to look out for ourselves and start to circle our wagons, where it's actually a self-empowering thing. We've been going against nature, trying to help all these other groups that's low-key been against us. First law of nature is self-preservation. And if you notice, it's becoming so powerful. Nowadays, we even got white supremacists trying to come to Black American spaces to look for camaraderie. If you look at how we done delegitimize any other struggle that we don't get involved in, they're actually going out right now trying to create people like to be an oppressed class without actually being oppressed. And when you look at Black American history, we're the only group that has any legitimacy, only one that's been legitimately oppressed. Now, if anybody else wants to come to us looking for legitimacy or to help us, let them make our agenda their number one agenda. Any premises, if they want help, if they want any camaraderie with Black Americans, get your brethren and sistren and your number one agenda. I'm mute.
That's a good point, family. I like that. That's a damn good point, family. We have finally been in sync with ourselves and self-preservation, which is the law of life. And I like how anytime someone comes and they start talking to us, the first thing we say is, how you feel about reparations. See, reparations has been the key indicator how somebody truly feels about us. And they can say whatever they want, all the little trick bags that they've been pulling. When we say, how do you feel about reparations? Then you're going to see how they really genuinely feel. So I like what you're saying, brother. We basically been calling them bluff. We've been calling them bluff. And Black folks used to never call nobody bluff, because like my brother Church said, we used too busy trying to go back and forth with these people. The energy is strong, just like you alluded to, family. And that's an absolute home run of a point. Appreciate that. Go ahead, my brother, cut the check.
Yeah, I'm loving the conversation. Shout out to everybody that's contributing to the space. I just wanted to touch on this Black fatigue thing real quick to add on to the brother's points earlier about the Black fatigue. The Black fatigue is, first of all, it was a sister that wrote a book, and the original meaning of Black fatigue was her saying this fatigue that Black Americans have for going through something that nobody else is really going through, having this burden of a fight that nobody else is seeming to take on as far as fighting white supremacy goes, and just all the microaggressions we got to deal with at work and code switching and just all of that stuff. It makes us fatigued as Black people, where it's like, damn, so other things, we're too tired to do certain other things. But the real Black fatigue, like the brother was saying, is them being so tired of us fighting back. They're just like, why can't you lay down? They go all around the globe. They go all around the world brutalizing so many different peoples and just playing with people. Elon trying to go to Mars to destroy that planet. Like, you know what I mean? So they go all around with no fight from all of these people, even their own people. And they just like, man, they give social media. What do? We turn it around, flip it on them, and use it against them. We keep innovate. We're like LeBron. It's like, damn, you still a starter? you're still in the league. You're still, you know what I mean? So that's the fatigue that they really tired of. Every time they come back to us, we're fighting. Every time they try to remix some scheme against us, we keep fighting. They bring it to somebody else, they don't fight back. They bring it to us, we fighting like hell. Even our children is fighting like hell in these schools. The little girls like, I'm gonna wear my natural hair, go ahead and suspend me, all of this type of stuff. So yeah, shout out to us, man, for getting on code. And I'm gonna lay my plane.
Man, that's a damn good point, brother. Damn good point. Y'all cooking today. Everybody who just spoke is cooking. Anybody else who wants to cook, hit that request and come on up, because we got a real family affair up in here and we rocking it. Good point our brother made. If y'all notice, the theme right now is us winning and us coming back and having an answer for everything that they've done, which is a far cry from the way it used to be. We could have had these spaces 10 years ago, and it would have basically been about, is Barack Obama going to come help us? All right? It was basically about how come all the other minorities out there ain't on our side. There would have been some real doom and gloom. That doom and gloom thing is over with. Black folks, we're not on the emotion no more. We're not on emotion. We're strictly business, and we handling business. And when you get on business, you make it pop. Think about what my brother Church said. We're running around here now using terms like tap in. See, to everybody else, they'll hear tap in. They think tap in just means listen. Tap in is talking about feeling it, a vibration, a frequency, being on the same accord. Our words, as simplistic as they may sound, have so much complex meaning. And that's the same exact thing that we have been doing out here when we say standing on what? Business. I've not heard anybody say standing on emotion. I haven't heard anybody saying that. That's what black folks used to do, stand on emotion, and it got us nowhere. Got us Black Lives Matter, and all of them is gone, and there's a new era and a new time with new riders, and I see all y'all faces right here, right now. So it's a beautiful thing. But we're going to go through the hands. I'm going to give it to my brother Church, and then we're going to get to Mel B and then American Freedman. I want all the new speakers, and we're going to just continue this vibe. Go ahead, brother.
I want to go back to what our brother Xander was saying a few minutes ago, because I love the fact that he brought up the fake oppression. They playing the oppression Olympics with themselves. This makes no difference. I've never seen an oppressor. Like it's the most oppressed oppressor in history, if you let them tell you. It's an oxymoron, family, and we know that. But I wanted to add to that as well. Family, we need to start really looking out for these people, these Nabiscos that comes into our spaces who actually know the problem, who knows what supremacy does, who knows the issues that we face systemically, because when they come into our spaces, they're not looking to say, hey, I understand you guys in this manner. No. What they're really doing is trying to feed off our energy, same way those vampires and sinners were. Because the truth of the matter is this, and I say this to them a lot of the time when they come into spaces that I'm in: why are you here telling us things that we already know? You need to be back home telling the people in your house all of these things, telling them about our oppression, telling them about our blood debt tied to the government, telling them about everything that you came into our space to tell us about. You need to be giving that to your family. You need to be moving one Nabisco at a time. Because what you're doing with us is you're just grandizing. You want to come around us to grab that energy. You want to come around us to say, hey, look, Negro, I know your plight. Can I be your friend? And that's not really what it is. We're not having none of that. So if you know, then go ahead and teach people in your community why it's important for us to get reparations. If you know, then go ahead and teach people in your household why we have this debt tied to the government and why every citizen, whether you was a slave owner or not, must pay that debt. So it is very, very important. I'm glad that our brother brought up this fake oppression, because when you see the reaction from them with us not allowing them to use that to get into our circles and things like that, then they flip to the fake oppression. Oh, guys, we're all oppressed. I've never did any. I barely got $2 to my name. How does WS work for me? Family, That is the biggest issue when it comes to these folks being in our spaces. We need to turn them right back around and say, okay, well, since you know all these things, I'm glad that you know those things, because now you can be a representative to run back to your people and explain these things. And I better see you explaining it with your chest, the whole chest, not just but the chest, just like how you thought you could come into our space and try to explain things we already know to us. But I'll land there.
Damn good, brother. Absolutely. I ain't never seen so many people who want to be oppressed. They want to be depressed. How you going to be the villain and the victim at the same exact time? And that's just a way to dilute what we've been doing. You see, if everybody can be oppressed, then nobody's oppressed. If everybody can be black, then nobody's black. And this goes back to gatekeeping and setting boundaries where we're not allowing anybody to come in. See, one of the tactics the dominant society always tries to do is to dilute us because they know they can't stop us. They can stop Mr. Haitian or Jamaican or Mr. African or Mr. Mexican. They can stop all the cans. But when it comes to us, the certifieds, they can't. So they just go to the next tactic of trying to dilute it and say, well, I'm oppressed, I'm oppressed, I'm oppressed. And eventually everybody can just stake a claim in being oppressed. And we have not allowed them to pull that one either. You're not going to be out here practicing open supremacy on people and then turn around and tell the world how you're some type of victim. That ain't happening. You may have got away with that when the boule was running things, but the grassroots are running things. So that means you're going to do what we say. And that's the energy that we're operating in. So once again, shout out to Mississippi, shout out to Alabama, shout out to any certified foundational Black American who putting in that work. I want to get to some of the new speakers and the new hands, though. I see Mel B, you was in here, and I want to give it to you, and then toss it to American Freeman, and then Duncan, and then Xander.
Hey, what's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Perfect, my brother.
Hey, man, it's hilarious to me, man. I sit up and listen to these guys come in here and talk to you and Tariq about Chicago and about black on black crime. But every Friday, I sit up and get my popcorn and watch Dateline NBC. I watch 2020, all about them up each other. You know, the husband take out the wife take out the husband, they take out the kids. I know my wife watch a whole network, 24-hour network called the ID network, where all they doing is taking each other out. And they come to this spot and talk about how we just take each other out. But it just, that boggles my mind, man. It's just whole programs and episodes. You can find it in any program you go to, where they be taking each other out, man. And that's all I wanted to say about that.
Brother, I appreciate that. You damn right. You damn right. I try to sit back and watch a Netflix documentary, and I got to go through all the W on W crimes. You name the crime, the PDFing, the touching folks who don't need to be touched. It's all of them. So who's the real criminals out here? And remember, all of those crimes that you just said right there that you see on Dateline, that I said I see on Netflix, they're identical with crime statistics. And that's something else we've done, y'all. They say something that's a falsehood, we just send it back at them. So they say, well, y'all the main ones who do crime. And we say, no, really you are. They say black fatigue. We say, no, male fatigue. We can sit back and we can throw this around like Frisbees, but I guarantee you ours goes further. So that's a damn good point, my brother. Shout out to you, family. American Freeman, it's on you.
All right, peace, power, and reparation, family. Black Alpha Network, I really appreciate you allowing me up on your stage to speak. I'm loving this room. I'm loving the energy, the Foundation Black and American energy that we are projecting. You know, all power to the ancestors because they are the ones who's bringing this energy back. You know, shout out to the ancestors for taking down Nottoway Plantation. You know what I mean? Shout out to the ancestors for all they're doing. Family, family, family. You know, I'm old school, you know what I'm saying? So I love listening to young folks. I love hearing the young folks putting in that work, staying 10 toes down, standing on lineage, and standing on business. You know what I mean? I've always said, though, that the millennials are going to do that damn thing anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're going to push across the finish line and then some. So shout out to all of y'all. I'm glad we're on code. I'm glad we're on getting on one accord. You know what I'm saying? We all see the underlay for the overplayed by these different groups, the goddamn tethers, all these groups trying to come up against us. But guess what? We're so goddamn powerful, they can't do nothing. Like somebody said, they can try to infiltrate us, but then they'll wind up showing themselves through their infiltration because they can't go for so long without them showing who they are, without the ancestors exposing them. And so fast forward to what our people in NYC, FBA in New York going through, you know what I'm saying? They great awakening and they handle these tethers. You know what I'm saying? We all got to be on one accord when it comes to these regional beefs that they love to try to do with the North, the South, LA Cali versus New York, all that tether shit. It's been tether shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's how they've been able to infiltrate and get into our circles on some regional beef shit. But, you know, we on point now, and we seeing them as they come. We hearing them when they speak. You know, the whole gender divide been nothing but tether. But anyway, though, been nothing but tethers. All these people, you know what I'm saying? The buffer class trying to infiltrate, trying to disrupt what we got going on. All we got to do is stay on code. We stay on code, game over with, point blank, period. I don't care. Like I'm saying, we got a saying where I come from. If you of the lineage, even if you wrong, you right. And we got to hold on to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if you wrong, right. Now, look, when we get in this corner, when we take this through the back channels, we're going to discuss this. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you can't be wrong and you can't be on the side of the monsters, because then, therefore, you done cut ties. You can't be wrong and you be on the side of these goddamn tethers. Never allow goddamn tethers to denigrate our people. That right there is active treason. For sure, my country self. Hey, but nonetheless, though, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate this room, appreciate the space, and I understand this right here, y'all. Long as we stay on code, point blank, period, I don't care. Can't nothing infiltrate us. Can nothing stop us. You understand what I'm saying? Even when it came to all the revolts from Denmark, Vesey, and Nat Turner, they were successful because they stayed on code. You know what I mean? Point blank, period. In their little bit of a crowd, a circle that they had. Yes, you're going to have outsiders going to try to infiltrate, but when we stay on code, can't nothing stop us. Peace, love, reparation.
Certified salute to you, family. Our brother just made a damn good point. Damn good point. It's been all these tethers out here trying to start these regional battles. All right. 9 times out of 10, when you see somebody talking that nonsense, it's some type of tether. We seen that tether from Nigeria trying to talk about who dresses in the North and the South. FBA ain't on that. Delineation and us representing who we are, that goes beyond any of those games. We got love for everybody. East Coast, West Coast, down South, up North, Midwest, everything in between. I don't give a damn if you a foundational Black American, you live in Alaska. If you from the lineage, certified salute. We represent to the fullest. We out here right now connecting the dots. That's what's beautiful about now. We ain't out here plantation banging. And we denounce anybody out here plantation banging. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be one of them tethers. And that's a good point, because that's how they feel they can infiltrate us. That's what it is. See, everything that the dominant society does, it's a direct reflection of what we've been doing correctly. So when they try to send all these people at us now, trying to get us to plantation bang and pit region against region and city against city, that means that we're not doing that. That means that we're actually connecting to each other, so they feel the need to do so. We represent it to the fullest. Shout out to all my brothers, my brethren, my sisters who are out here representing. You can tie all of the pieces together no matter where somebody is from. I love seeing my brothers out there in California representing and saying shout out to all of our people in the South. I love my brothers in the South saying shout out to all my people up there in the New York, New Jersey, Philly, all of that, the Midwest. That's the best part about everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I'm from Georgia. My wife from Brooklyn. Shout out, I see my brother Sage. Shout out to my brother Sage on code. I see my brother Racer Bow in here. You know what I'm saying? New York in here, real good. Shout out to the team. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas, all my people in Louisiana. It don't matter. It's an FBA thing. It's the FBA thing. You ain't never going to come out here and get me to fight my brother, because you're trying to get us to do that tribalism that you do. I'd be damned if somebody who hates the person on the other side of the zebra is going to hate a brother or sister who's on the other side of the region. That ain't happening. You need to worry about your zebras and your damn elephants. You on the left side of the colonizer, and you trying to get me to go at my brother who's on the other side of town. Okay, you on the other side of the water well. You better focus on that colonizer, that zebra, that elephant, that water well, and your ashy ass ankles, and quit trying to get foundational Black Americans to separate, because all we do is regulate that part. My brother Duncan, we're going to get through the hands. My brother Duncan, matter of fact, I'm going to give it to my brother Church, and then to our brother Duncan, and we'll spin the hands around. Shout out to the family. And anybody want to come up? Come on up.
Yeah, family, I just wanted to touch on 2 things real quick that you guys are spitting on, just hot fire, especially the situation of tether starting a lot of these situations. I'm in a fond belief that literally every time there's some sort of rift in the Black community, they're using the tether to do it. Whether it is the male versus female dynamic, Black men versus Black women, or whether it's the feminists. A lot of these folks that you're seeing, they tend to be for the Caribbean or Africa. And I truly need to state this 100-fold. When we see people pushing those narratives too, because we ain't never been those kind of people. We've always been a people of community. And we recently had this phenomenon pop up where all these things are happening and all these people are, oh, the black man is this, the black woman is this, because we've always known all we got is each other, period, point in black. So we need to start questioning anybody in everyone's lineage who is pushing those type of narratives too. And that'll be a vetting situation. It's one thing to vet a person to see where lineage they from, trying to get into our circles, but it's a total another thing to vet them just because these people are pushing these type of narratives that may fall back on us. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on real quick was when our brother said, even when we're right, even when we're in the wrong, we're in the right. I felt that so much, and I want to explain why real quick. For example, the Diddy case. A lot of folks are running around and they're trying to make it seem like if you're speaking up against the Diddy case, that you must be for Diddy. All the horrible things that he did, you must agree with, and that's just a fallacy right there. When we say that even when we're in the wrong, we're in the right, we're looking out for each other, regardless of the fact, because these things can flow down to us. We don't agree with any of the things that Diddy did in his time of being Diddy. I'm going to be 100 with you. That's on him. However, we're not going to allow this same person to be blackballed, because if he gets blackballed, guess what they're going to try and do to the rest of us. So when my brother said, even when we're in the wrong, we're in the right, we need to start looking at these situations in that context right there. It's not that I'm sitting here supporting this person. However, this person is being railroaded, and we got to call this railroadness out, because if not, that can happen to us too. So I really appreciate you saying that, family. We can move to the hands.
Man, damn good point, family. Let me just jump in real quick. That's a good point. And let me tell everybody, wasn't it that brick lady? Y'all remember that brick lady? Where was she from? She was a non-FBA. We know that for a fact because her forehead was about 3 football fields long. But
she was
that was another person. He was Somali. Goddamn. And the person who recorded that Shiloh, that was the damn Somali. And now he got a GoFundMe page. All y'all tethers, and I see tethers down there in the queue, and they hiding down there, okay? They hiding from us like they hiding from EJ's bamboo stick. All right, listen. Y'all are never going to infiltrate foundational black Americans. You're never going to get me to fight against my brothers and sisters, no matter what region, what side of town, what state you are from. We are a unified lineage. I know y'all don't know about unified. You only want to be unified with the colonizer. I understand that. But you won't put any of that tribalism or tetherism onto foundationals. It just ain't gonna work. Okay, now let me spin through the hands, fam, because I want to hear from y'all. Duncan, we're gonna go to you, and then we're gonna spin it to everybody. Everybody gonna speak. So go ahead, my brother Duncan.
What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all having a good day. I came up because I'm agreeing with everything, like especially putting boundaries around our lineage of Adolf. It's important that we do notice that we are a specific ethnic group, and we have to really draw in and make it important that they acknowledge our ethnogenesis in the United States. And not just to acknowledge our ethnogenesis, but to understand why I'm adamant about pushing that we have an ethnogenesis in the United States. We are just as native as any Native American tribe. I don't have to come from no TP. I don't have to go to no powwow, and I'm just as native as any so-called Native American. The fact that after our folks landed here and came off slave ships, they were our ancestors. They had a system of our ancestors. And we have amalgamated into a new group of people who are called Black Americans. And our native status should be respected just like any other of those Native American groups. And when it comes to this, all black people are professional victims and stuff like that, well, they use that as a shaming tactic. I don't care about the Democrats, and I don't care about the Republicans. I don't put neither one of them. Now, if they come to the table where it could benefit me, and specifically reparations, if they don't support reparations, for me, it's a deal breaker. That's like the way would look at somebody being a Holocaust denier, I look at somebody denying me my legitimate claim of reparations. They're denying the government sanctioned atrocities that happen here in the United States. And they try to shame us and say that we want to be victims, but all of a sudden, when it comes to Afrikaners, they bring them over here and say that they are the victim. So we supposed to be quiet. Oh, we just need to not be victims and shame us for being victims. They not shamed to be these victims that they want to be. And you know, it's really the fault of all these immigrants coming over here, right, who have gotten in our business, have tried to throw stumbling blocks in our way when we're trying to get reparations. If the Democrats wouldn't have tried to sabotage us in our reparations claim, they wouldn't have the Trump now. All they had to do was support it. They wouldn't have had Trump now, right? And so now they're getting a taste of their own medicine. These Afrikaners are calling themselves victims, and you know what's going to end up happening? While they were trying to stop us from getting reparations, they're going to have to give reparations to them, the Afrikaners, and they're going to have to give them their land back that they took. Even though I ain't got nothing to do with it, whether it's right or wrong that they taking back their land. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But the fact is, them trying to stop our reparations claim, they're not calling themselves victims or victims of genocide for no reason. The next step, comparative justice. They want their land back. So while they trying to stop us from getting our reparations, they finna have to pay reparations they damn self to them Afrikaners. So that's all I want to say.
Shout out to you, family. Absolutely. Absolutely. We told everybody the Democrats will crash out before they'll do something for Black Americans, and now they crashed out. So everybody sees the reality the Democrats are in right now, and it's simply because they said that they was going to go down with immigrants. Well, goddamn it, they down, and the immigrants are down too. So it look like everybody down except for foundationals. Good damn point, brother. Good point. All right, the Negro Black Knights, and then we're going to get to Trilla.
Hey, thank you, brother, for saying it right, and salute to you on that. Respect is given and respect is received. Salute to you on that. Check your inbox before I go, both of you guys, and I just want to give you guys a courtesy before I go into my spiel. First things first, I'm going to talk about this myth about black on black criminality. I posted up some information. My background is in that criminal justice sector. So I started looking specifically about these crimes, and especially when it comes to SAN and base crimes. That ain't us really like that. There's been a spike since 2023. So my speculation is what has changed over time is the influx of first and second and third generation immigrants that are bringing this degenerate behavior into our communities, harming our children, harming our women, and even harming some of the men. I'll even go one step further with this conversation that normally gets overlooked. When they talk about this black on black criminality, are they talking about these tethers that are introducing these criminality such as money laundering, such as human trafficking, SA trafficking, and stuff like that? No, that stuff never gets talked about, but they just want to throw it underneath one big umbrella called Black America, which I find very, very disrespectful. This is the reason why disaggregation of data is very important. This is the reason why we need to stand firm and look at these names when these crimes go across our screen that are very extreme. If their name ending in a vowel, they definitely not one of ours. When they got these funky, weird names from other nation, they're definitely not one of ours. We need to put that flag with that nation, that ethnic group with that crime. Because like the OJ glove, if it didn't fit, it must be a quit. Just keeping it 10 toes down on that conversation and that talking point when it comes to criminality. And these tethers know we should be the ones who critiqued of them because we're in our own nation. We're not in their house. We're not in their nation spiking up the criminality, human trafficking, missing black women and black children. See, there's over 300,000 women that's unaccounted for. One of the things that I started really looking into is how are they really connecting with our people? One of the things I talk about is skin proximity, aka skin invaders. They out here using their melanin skin to commit criminality against our people. My God, this is the treachery that is going on. This is the reason why we also need to look at the criminal behavior that's being introduced by these foreign immigrants, from them dealing drugs, from the shower posse, cocaine to our people, you know, Fat Joe or Fat Slow. You know who I'm talking about, and others that brag about these things that has detrimental effects on our community. So salute to you guys. Keep the house rocking and keep these boys off the platform. Y'all see the inbox, so I'm just giving y'all a courtesy. We don't need them to interpede and rain on the Negro Parade or the Black American and FBA Parade. So keep doing what y'all doing and keep growing and keep multiplying. And respect is given and respect is received, brother. Salute.
Certified salute back at you, brother. That's what we always do right here. What we telling, fam? FBA, we don't hide, we stand on business, and we multiply. Our brother made a damn good point. These statistics and these people being tied into foundational Black Americans has been absolutely detrimental. Name me one thing about us being tied into a non-foundational Black American, a tether, that has ever helped us. Name me one iota of a thing that's ever helped us. Nothing. It is by no means an asset. It's complete liabilities. And like our brother was pointing, every time you see tethers got a real woman problem. Can we be honest? Okay, every time you see a tether, I don't give a damn who they are. They always have some type of a case, you know, some type of assault cases against women. That's why they're always practicing that. FBA, we don't do that. All right, we don't do that. We're not going to allow these people to smear nor slander our lineage with the filth that they bring in from their village. So those are things that we definitely have been separating. And when you look at these crime statistics or you look at the nightly news, 9 times out of 10, these people have hairlines that are jumping off the back of their neck. And we know damn well these are not foundational Black Americans. But the news don't ever say that because it's an orchestrated plot to tie us into those people for all the wrong reasons. Now, when they start cutting checks and resources and benefits, then those people now want to separate from us. I've always said people want to stand away from us socially, but stand next to us politically. Because politically, they want to be near. So when the resources come down, they can snatch them up like a vulture and fly away. Socially, these people don't want to be around foundationals. And what we're doing now is we're telling them the same energy you got socially, you're going to have politically. Because guess what? We don't want to be around your either. So that's something they've been doing out there, especially in New York. I see a lot of people talking about what's going on in New York. And New York, all my brothers and sisters in New York know goddamn well them be tethers trying to commit the crimes and then try to put that on us. So like I said, shout out to our brothers and sisters in NY who've been gatekeeping and letting the whole goddamn world know that what foundational Black Americans do is different than what tethers do, because we are not the same. Our brother Thriller, my bad brother, and then we're going to go to the next hands. I want to get some new speakers up. Go ahead, brother.
Man, thank you very much, brother. First of all, I want to say shout out to my country fried brother, Black Alpha, the co-host, everybody in the chat. That brother that just came up before definitely touched on some things that I was finna talk about this Black on Black thing. First of all, I'm in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. And yeah, that's always a myth, because for the most part, us foundational Black Americans, we feel safe. So it's all this propaganda going around about Chicago, don't come to Chicago. But what happened was they weren't talking about this influx of immigrants that came in over the past 3 years, and the crime rate kind of rose. It rose within these 3 years. And that comes from an influx of illegal immigrants, including the tether nations of Africa. And no disrespect to them, we're not talking about the rider class, of course, but it comes from a few of those people on that side too. So I get tired of hearing that myth about how dangerous Chicago is. Of course, we have crime or whatever, but most of the crime, this quote unquote Black on Black crime, those are isolated incidents, and those incidents are street business related. It's not something that's just random. You got Black folks running around with just no. That stuff is isolated for the most part. So, you know, I definitely get upset about that. And also the brother brought up another point about, you know, these missing Black women. Listen, there's a sister A FBA sister that came up missing way back in 2017, and I believe she was pregnant. I believe she was a few months pregnant at the time. She was a postal worker too. If I got any of my Chi-Town people in here, help me out with that. Her name is Kiera Coles. They have not found this young lady yet. Okay, this lady been missing for what's that going on 8 years now. This sister have been missing. So yeah, these people don't care about us like that, and we understand that. We get that. That's why we so on code here in this city, in Chicago. Chicago is a safe place. Okay, so a lot of that propaganda stuff going around, we know where that's coming from, and it's coming from these mainstream media outlets, the news and these things. That's where that's coming from. So you get these people that come in here off our backs, get fed that garbage. And that was a major point he had brought up, and I'm glad he brought that point up, because he was able to explain that better than I can right now. But he brought it up and already touched on. I just wanted to touch on that again, that people are welcome here to Chicago, especially our FBA family. Chicago is a safe place, because I done stayed on every side of this city, from the north to the south, to the east to the west. And the north side is full of tethers. The north side is tether central. So when you come to Chicago and you go on the north side, it's Tetherville up there. And so I just want to come in and touch on that and let the FBA family know all that crap y'all hear about Chicago is false, is fake news, is all of that. Because for the most part, when people come here, they feel safe. And they come with an FBA family at, and they feel safe. Because even back in the day, if you're talking about 80s and 90s, even though we had, back then was different, of course we know, but still, any quote unquote black on black crime, it was always related to street business. Because for the most part, we still had most of our big daddies around, most of our big mamas around. We had most of our big aunties around, our big uncles around. So everything was structured here, and it's still that way today. We know we lost some. But at the end of the day, we still have that formula going on right now today. So I just want to come in and set that record straight again about Chicago, because you had a couple on TikTok talking about don't come to Chicago and this and that. No. I reject that and I rebuke that right now. So, man, shout out to y'all, and I'm going to drop the mic right there.
Shout out to you, my brother. Hey, fam, I'm going to tap in with you, brother. I'm going to come through Chicago this summer, man. I'm going to tap in with you, family.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to the man. Y'all know they always trying to put Chicago as like the poster child for black folks anytime they bring up Chicago. But just like everything, we got brothers like our brother right there who's disputing all of that and letting the world know what Chicago is really about, and it's about FBA. So certified salute to that brother. Let's go ahead and get through some of the hands up. Peter, go ahead.
Real quick, Black Alpha, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hold on
go ahead,
one second, Peter. I just want to touch on what our brother Trilla just said, because I'm so glad that you said this, because I had an actual experience, and I'm gonna tell you exactly who's perpetuating that stereotype right now. I had somebody come over to do bug spray cleaning on my house. And this dude was a Jamaican, and he just so happened to be from Chicago. And I explained to him how I was going to be going through Chicago later on this year or whatnot, because I wanted to go see some family. And so one of the things that he told me was, oh, you got locks. Oh, yeah, you can't go to Chicago. They're going to try to get you, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, why would somebody try to get me just because I got locks? And he's like, well, it's just the culture down there. And they just look at you like you're one of them, and they're going to get at you, this, that, and the third. I got off the phone. Once he left, I got on the phone with one of my homeboys out there in Chicago, and I was like, hey, why is this dude telling me that Chicago people are going to look at me a certain way because I got locks, and, that ain't going to be good for me, all this other stuff? And he said verbatim, I didn't tell him who it was or anything. He said, oh, that sounds like a Caribbean. He said, "Oh no, you ain't got to worry about that at all." He said, "When you get down here, you're gonna be over here with the real ones, so you ain't got to worry about that. They on a whole different side doing the F stuff that they're doing." He said, "So don't worry about that. Chicago ain't what people like to make it out to be." And so I'm really, really glad that you brought that up, and especially that you brought up the situation with the black on black crimes, because let's be 100% honest. These people got whole television networks that is literally circled and just catered to all the things that they have done criminally. Let's keep this 100 and let's not have any misconceptions about that. And all the things that they don't want to put on the books, they still bring to the public, but they bring it to the public under another term, another guide. They call it what? Unsolved mysteries. Who the hell do you think are behind those unsolved mysteries? So we got to be very, very careful, because they'll love to throw up the black on black statistics on this, whatever, the fake black on black statistics. But they'll never bring up the fact that they are the number one guiding factor when it comes to these TV shows and TV networks creating content off of the things and the diabolical issues that they do and they pull. But I'll hand it back to you, my brother Alpha.
That's a damn good point. You know, Chicago has one of the highest Latino crime rates and gang rates with the Latin Kings and all those different people from Latino gangs that are up there, and they never seem to bring that up. You know, they always skip over that. And guess what? We won't, and we gonna highlight it. So anything that anybody does that they try to put on FBA is going to make sure that we put all your dirt out here in the streets. We're going to put all in the street. You're going to get evicted, and every last crime that you do in your community is going to be right there on the block for everybody to see. You won't be putting no spotlight on foundational black Americans, but we will be putting a spotlight on you. Let's get through the hands. Peter, go ahead.
Yeah, peace and blessings to the room. I'm a foundational Sicilian American, and I just wanted to come in to...
There's no such thing as a foundational Sicilian American. That does not exist. That does not exist. So go ahead and tell us what you really are.
Well, I mean, we have solidarity with the FBAs. This whole movement is...
So you are a foundational mayo mayonnaise. Is what you are. I get it. Okay, you could have just said that now. Why are you going to go ahead and go around the block with it? Just say what it is. You're a foundational mayos. You came straight from Food Lion. That's where you come from. You come from Walmart groceries. That's where you come from. So tell us your lies so we can expose you.
No, man, I'm as serious as a heart attack. I mean, one of my big homies is Lloyd Kelly, and I love what he's waking.
Your big homies is Big Billy Bob from your trailer park, and you have a 2:00 appointment with him every day, and he bends you over the love sofa. I got you, homie. So be honest with it, and you've already made a mockery of yourself in the first 2 seconds. Now, this can get worse, so put the meth pipe down, try to sober up, and speak the truth, okay? There's no big homies, there's only Big Bob, and Bob likes to spread mayo all out with you. So let's keep it a buck. Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not white.
I got him.
I'm really not white. I have Moorish blood. I have more. The ancestors are in the room right.
No, you have more mayo blood. That's what you have. So it's not more-ish. It's more mayo. You got to get it right. Now you're twisting your syllables around now. It's not more-ish. It's more mayo. And you probably want more meth, okay? And you want more trailer park. And none of that's going to work. So try again. Your trolling's not working right now. So get it right. Put the mayo down in the meth. I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for you now. So you go ahead and take this help that I'm giving you and speak the truth. Go ahead.
I appreciate the lookout, and we are family here. We are all of the lineage. So I just want to let you know that we stand in solidarity. FSA stands in solidarity.
You stand in solidarity with child, your father. And we stand in solidarity with foundational black Americans, and we stand the hell away from you. So again, the solidarity talk's not going to work. The trolling is terrible. Your meth done ran out. Your wife done stepped out with the neighbor. He got about 3 teeth in his mouth. So, I mean, your wife getting smashed by somebody who got 3 teeth. That's bad. I know you're having a bad day. Okay. But this is Memorial Day weekend. All right. And I'm sure you can get you some deals with the meth, and I'm sure that they're going to provide that for you. So make sure that the deals that you get the right prices and you stay off of these spaces, because you're making your community look worse. Do you understand that, Peter?
I mean, I'm trying to wake this up. This is something that I have a real affinity for. And I don't know if you've seen, I'm in a lot of different spaces with a lot of members of the lineage, and from ADOS to ADOM, American descendant of mafiosi, we stand in solidarity with.
No. I got this. 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 I need no help. I got this. Okay. Oh, let's work this. Okay. Okay. Say male American. All right. An MA. All right. And your male American ways are not working. So what you need to do is that you need to call up Paula Dean on the phone to see if she can make you one of the mayo sandwiches that you're used to, and take that back to your trailer park. Okay, I'm giving you advice now since you want help. All right, I'm giving you game. You need to hit up Paula Dean. You need to go ahead and get you one of the mayo sandwiches. I'm sure she'll put some meth in it because you're probably used to it right now. And then you can go ahead and you can crash out at your trailer park. And then when you wake up from your meth high, then you can go back to Paula Dean and have her do that for you again. And then you can consistently go there. And the more that you do that, the more that you will understand that does not work. And your babble is not landing, and foundational Black Americans are supreme.
Stand in solidarity.
Oh, well, you and that's not what I asked you.
Who?
You just heard what I said. What you mean, who?
What specific individual? Because I mean, you can't say a whole group. You have to say each individual.
I'm not talking about a group. I'm talking about a lineage. Because we're sober and you're not. So doesn't that make us supreme in the sober world?
I mean, I'm pretty sober right now. I haven't taken any narcotics.
Sober. No, you're not sober. You're high as a roller coaster. Okay, I can hear the meth coming through the damn phone. Okay, so just stop. Be honest.
I'm really not. I'm Sicilian, and again, there's solid.
You're getting high. You're a high Sicilian. That's what you are. You're a high Sicilian. Okay. So be honest with everybody. Admit that you have a drug problem. The first step of getting past your drug problem is to admit it. You need to go to Mayo-holics Anonymous. Okay. You're not too anonymous right now because we see you. So admit that.
I like what you said earlier.
Everybody likes what I say. I understand that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I want you to admit that you have a drug problem right now. Admit it. Admit that you have a drug problem in front of all these foundational Black Americans, because we don't do that. Okay. It's up with hope and down with dope. So admit that you have a drug problem. Go ahead.
I don't have a drug problem, but I do want to discuss.
Okay, so you're lying. Okay, so you do have a drug problem. The fact that you said you don't means you just do. Okay, it's reverse day. So you really do have a drug problem. We're going to call you Mayo and Meth Matthew. That's who you really are, all right? And Mayo and Meth is a terrible, terrible mix because it has you on every single crime statistic. It has you on Unsolved Mysteries. It has you on Dateline, NBC, and ABC. And it has you locked up behind bars. So it's not really going to work, okay?
I wanted to talk about what's going on with Diddy. I've been going to the trial.
Oh, damn. So you got Diddy baby oil on you too. I'll be damned. So let's add that to the fray, fam. So we have mayo, meth, mayonnaise, and Diddy oil. He said he want to talk about Diddy. He said he want to talk about Diddy. You sure you want to talk about Diddy? Are you sure? Because it sounds like, family, we got a confession here. This man got some of that damn baby oil on him. This is what don't come to FBA and try to give us no confession. I asked you to confess about your drug problem. You want to confess that you was getting on by P. Diddy. You put the P in P. Diddy. I'll be damned. Terrible, terrible thing. So I see what it is. Okay, I got it. You're very embarrassed and you want to talk about how P. Diddy would on you with mayo, with meth, with Paula Dean. And you want to confess all of that to foundational Black Americans. All right. And I'm not asking, I'm telling. So yeah, I appreciate that.
No, not at all. I mean, you were right about him being bamboozled and railroaded.
Hey, he said I was right. Y'all heard that. Hey, 100s now if y'all heard he say I was right. I said it. I said that man had Paula Dean, mayo, mayonnaise, meth, Diddy, oil. There you go, family. He just admitted everything. Foundational Black Americans win. Did I just get a confession? Did I get a confession, family? Did I made it clear too now. I said, hey, you got that Diddy oil. He said he wanted to talk about Diddy. He just admitted, he said, you were right. Goddamn. Family, I think in the first space, we done got us a mayo confession. I see. But here's the problem. Why are you coming to foundational Black Americans and confessing all of your dirt? That's just terrible. I mean, I'm sure you can get some help somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll start a GoFundMe for all of the distraught you have. Okay, for getting on. But foundational Black Americans, we will not help you. We're too busy getting our money and putting our money where it belongs, okay? So go get some help, Peter. You need help. You can go to the Mayo Clinic. You can go to the Mayo Clinic and you can get some help. I'm sure they will help you out. Did you go to the Diddy trial to stare him down? Is that what it was? Free P. Diddy, y'all. Free P. Diddy, because we clearly have an issue where Mr. Clinic, he was really the perpetrator of all of this. So I appreciate the confession. Do you have any more confessions that you want to make? Go ahead.
I was going to say, what is the biggest threat to FBAs in the next 5 years?
We have no threats. FBA has no threats. What we do is that we have these people from the Mayo Clinic, such as yourself, who try to troll us in a horrible fashion and crash and burn and provide us a lot of comedy. If you haven't realized, you got about 130 foundational Black Americans laughing at you. And we just got a confession that you clearly like getting on. So, I mean, in terms of threats, why would we have any threats? We can sit there and have somebody like yourself crash out and embarrass your community, your on Paula Deen Mayo mayonnaise community, and we can laugh at it. I don't know. I think foundational Black Americans are doing great. So I appreciate the confession. I appreciate the questions, and I appreciate the comedy. Do you have any more things that you would like to add to this conversation?
You don't see radical Marxism being the biggest threat?
No, but you see radical as a threat. And you need to get that wiped off, okay? So you need to go ahead and check yourself before you wreck yourself, because in your mouth is bad for your health. Shout out to Ice Cube. So no, none of that. That's not a problem. Is that a problem for you? Go ahead, Peter. Pete, go ahead and speak. He finally realized, y'all, that he's an embarrassed person right now.
It was a double mute.
You got Mayo on your phone and the damn lockjack. Yeah. We're playing. Don't lie.
No, it is a problem. I think it's the biggest threat we face as Americans is Marxist.
But you're not an American. There's a difference. So don't lie now. Don't come in here confessing all your problems and then you want to start lying now. Be honest. This needs to step up, okay? Because you're embarrassing yourself right now. You're very, very embarrassing to yourself and to your community. How can you go back to your trailer park with this type of behavior? How can you go back? How can you go back to your community when you just got embarrassed by foundational Black Americans? I think that the mayo and the mayonnaise is going to disown you. They're going to disown you. So you're pretty much stuck right now. I mean, it's shame what you're doing to your people. It's a shame that you're getting embarrassed right now in front of the whole foundational Black American community. The trailer park will not want you anymore. Your blow up doll will be thrown in the streets because it got evicted. Your wife obviously is already right now with toothless Jethro. I mean, you have nowhere to go. I mean, it's terrible. You are supposed to be celebrating Memorial Day by getting high and passing out on your sofa while you pick this out your hair, not by getting embarrassed and confessing your problems. This is shameful. This is shameful. You need to step it up. You need to do better, because deep down inside, you know that the Mayo community has officially disowned you. Now, Peter, here's some advice. What I need you to do, you need to get the roaches out of your couch. You need to get you a new jar of mayonnaise, and you need to pray to all of your community that they can accept you again. Are you willing to do that?
I will think about it if...
Damn, he said he'll think about it. Damn, fam. So now I got this man saying that he'll actually think about it. So he admitted every single thing that I just said. God damn, fam. Did this even get to round two? Damn, this is a knock through one blow and this man knocked out. This man said that he confessed that he has some weird issues. Then the man turned around and said he will beg to the Mayo community to take him back home. He never said he didn't do meth. I want y'all to notice now, he did not say that he didn't do meth. Didn't say it at all. Nope. So we'll take that as in the middle. We'll take that as a confession. We'll take that as the truth. Okay. If you talk to them long enough, family, they will confess to you that deep down inside, they have nothing going for themselves. They have nothing working for themselves, and they're just a mockery. And it takes a good, strong, foundational Black American brother such as myself and all of my brothers and sisters here on the panel to expose this. You are on Unsolved Mayo Mysteries. Okay, we need to know, and your community needs to know why you have crashed out so bad, why you're confessing. You're going rogue right now. There's no way that the supremacists will ever accept you again. So you're basically Mayo homeless. So you went from the Mayo Clinic to Mayo homeless, and you're Mayo crashing out. Terrible, Peter. Now you got 2 seconds. Go ahead and give everybody your parting statement so I can kick you off. Mayo, okay? A Mayo American, and you're out of here. So go ahead and say your last piece, because I thought this would be more of a challenge. I thought this would be a little better, but it's really easy. I didn't think you would confess this much. I didn't think that you tell this much. You done snitched on yourself. So since you did all that, you did all the work. I don't even know why I have to continue. So go ahead, tell everybody what you have to say, and we will allow you to speak. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. I'd like to just say in my parting statements, I support the restoration of...
And you're out of here. He thought I was actually going to let him talk. It don't work that goddamn way. It don't work that way. He really thought I was going to let him speak. Well, I want to say shout out to Shiloh Hendricks, and shout out to my mayonnaise, and shout out to the in my hair, all 152 of them. Hell no, it don't work that way. Family, we ain't going back and forth with these people. We ain't going back and forth with these folks. This is how you handle these people, okay? You let them know what it is, you clowns, and let them know that they are getting roasted and they are comedy. There's not going to be no debate. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the decimal point in reparations. I'm not going to talk about none of that, okay? I'm a foundational Black American, and I don't go back and forth at all right? You let him crash out. So he has been disowned by the Mayo community. He has been regulated by foundational Black Americans, according to his words. So that is what I call TKO. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Kenneth, come on off your mic. What do you got to say? I seen some thunder down. Go ahead.
You gotta forgive these people, Black athletes. You know they lighten up under the spoons and stuff.
Oh, you actually did.
Watch your language. Go ahead. What do you got to say? God damn, this moment high as hell. You can't even talk.
It's that blue myth, Black Afro. You gonna have to forgive just. It's too strong for them.
You slowing down the stage. Come back when you can talk. Damn, I was gonna go ahead and roast the fam. I'm handing out smoke today. I'm out here.
Them Boost mobile phones, brother.
I'm out here barbecuing at the same time. I'm out here roasting them while I'm barbecuing at the same time, man. I'm multitasking, fam. But let's get to the hands, family. Anybody else wants to smoke? Come on up and get some smoke. We handing it on out. That's what we doing. Okay, I want to get to, okay, people had their hands up. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to get to, go ahead, Xander.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Black Americans right now, just like how this came up in this room, and they're trying to form some type of fake camaraderie with Black Americans to have us to take the lead on his fight. One thing Black Americans have to do is stop letting people put these phony names on you like Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, because these terms, just like someone said earlier, when it comes to Marxism, that's something that applies to white folks. None of these people gave a damn about us. So stop anybody from attaching us to some fake organization like Democrat, Republican, because it has nothing to do with Black American issues. And then most anti-Black, non-Black Americans, protected class of supremacists. That's what they mean. And then something else about these statistics. When I'm talking about crime in Chicago, the one thing we got to tell any of these folks, anybody who comes up talking about this per capita or crime statistics, first of all, tell them get their information from an organization that is not steeped and has a history of anti-Black American hatred and discrimination. That's the first thing you got to do. And then secondly, make Chicago like only Black people live in Chicago or one group of people live in Chicago or anywhere. When I start telling about criminals, I can give you names. So from here on out, when they say Black on Black crime and all these Black criminals, tell them to start dropping names and we'll drop name for name, see who drops the most. I'm mute.
Appreciate that, brother. Absolute peer fire, peer smoke. Before I get to the rest of the hands, Kenneth, I know you done got your cheap phone together now. Go ahead. What's on your mind? And you won't be coming back up again. No more. This man ain't got his phone right. Okay, the meth is kicking tonight. Fam, is this Memorial Meth Weekend for these folks? God damn, ain't no meth on the streets, y'all. They done took all the goddamn, they just high as hell. They out here confessing. They having interventions. They crashing the hell out. They telling us they getting on. This man can't get his phone working. They wife done slid off. Yeah. Your mama. Your mama. Yeah, your mama. You can't come and save your Mayo friend who got his ass whooped on this stage. Nice try. Put the Mayo cape down. You can't come back around. That don't work no more. Shout out to Mississippi, by the way. Matter of fact, go on down to Mississippi. Go down to Mississippi. There's a nice place for it. It's called CJ's Lounge. We'll see how it turned out. Hell, was that the guy at CJ's Lounge? Did he recover from all his injuries? He might have just recovered from all his injuries, fam. So he's trying to come in the space.
That was one of his uncles. He gonna get seconds and thirds by the little kid later. So he's big mad.
Fam, who mad right now? Who mad and who laughing? Who mad and who laughing right now? Who got to come into these spaces, fam? You see, we done set them off now. They triggered and they shook, they hurt, they wobbling. They wobbling right now because they can't get that emotion. Before they came up here, before they start getting thrown all over the place, didn't they sit here and say that they were going to say the N-word left and right and they was going to be cool, calm, and collected? Look like they mad right now. Look like they really upset. They don't like when foundational Black Americans are laughing at them. They don't like when foundational Black Americans are gathering. They don't like when foundational Black Americans are standing on business. So you see right now, he done put his cape on. He went to the highest goddamn building and he thought he was going to jump off and fly, but instead he just face planted. It's a terrible thing, family, and it's great to be us. Okay, Negro Black Knight, we'll go to you, and then we'll go through the hands and we'll get everybody in, man. Back to business, fam. Y'all know I had to roast them. I told everybody it's Black Americans versus males and tellers, so I had to go ahead and lay the smack down real quick, like the Rock circa 2003. But it's back to the business, y'all. Back to the family. Go ahead, Negro Black Knight. It's on you, fam.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a little history lesson from one of my mentors who was a Black Panther. One of the mistakes that they did was pick up that Marxist ideology. That's when they went from power to the Negro, power to the people, power to Black folks, and then went power to everybody. So please don't make that mistake and don't let that man throw a jacket on us, because the Marxist was what was used by the U.S. government to dismantle the Black Panther Party. It was used to target our brothers and sisters who was fighting for liberation on behalf of our community. So when I hear that type of rhetoric, this dude is a full-blown op to our community and a threat to our organizations and whatever we rep. That man is a threat. Because to throw that type of jacket on our people, it should be intolerable, especially when some of them paid the ultimate cost, life in imprisonment. So yeah, I'm kind of offended by that, because I actually had loved ones and friends that were a part of that type of struggle. And to hear somebody make a mockery of that is very telling. Very telling. So salute to you, and I'm really glad that you were putting in that work and rotisserie that chicken on that grill. I really, brother, that made me feel that put fire in a young brother's stomach, man. Keep doing your thing. I really appreciate you for that, man. You get a Negro Royal salute from me. And respect is given and respect is always received on this side of the track. Keep doing your thing and let the good times roll. And you have a very blessed afternoon, as well as the rest of you guys.
Appreciate that. Hey, appreciate that heads up too. You know what I'm talking about? Appreciate it. They know what it is. They don't want no problem with Black Alpha. They know what it is. They know. You come up here, you're gonna get G-checked. That's just how I go. And we're gonna do it with a smile, family. Good fashion. Shout out to the family. See, this is what it is, fam. This is the we don't give a damn about consequences because we dishing them out. This is the we giving out them repercussions era. You understand? So however people come and they come towards us, we are matching energy. And we might even take it a step further. Foundational Black Americans, just our energy right now. Shout out to Mississippi, by the way. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony, by the way. It's letting everybody know that we're not sitting back and allowing people to perpetrate harm towards us and we react to it. We're being proactive. And when you got that attitude adjustment and you change the way you move and you change the way you operate, it changes the world. And this is why it's truly FBA against everybody. And we win all the time by a knockout. Ain't no 12-round decisions around here, family. We handing it out. All right, let's keep the hands rolling. Captain America, you've been in here.
Hey, Brother Black, I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
How can you justify, and I know you're not doing it, but I'm putting this out for the society. How do you justify Daniel Penny getting off, but not Carmelo?
You can't.
How's that possible?
You can't at all, no way, shape, or form. That is a I'm white and I say so. And now we're dealing with the I'm FBA and I say so. Everything right now, family, is I'm foundational Black American and I say so. I'm certified and I say so. See, they're not used to us being the ones who dish out the punishment. They're not used to us being the dictators. The most underused term in the system of supremacy is dictatorship. It's a dictatorship based on race, based on skin color. That's what it's about. Well, now they're dealing with the people that they can no longer dictate to. We're dictating towards them. Now we're the ones giving out the orders. You can't make us budge, move, or shake off of our pivot. Everybody has to rebrand themselves. The dominant society has to rebrand themselves. Tethers are trying to rebrand themselves. And the very reason that they got to do that, that's just confirmation that we win it. That spiritual energy out here. That's why they're trying to tell us that these plantations burning down, lightning coming down and hitting police cars is Annabelle the doll. You can go ahead and believe that all the hell you want to. But you're going to have to wake up in reality and understand it's really foundational Black American energy, and it's changing the world every single day. Every single goddamn day. So we're going to continue to put that energy on the table. We're going to continue to hold it down. And everybody has to deal with now the lineage that they always try to keep on the outskirts and on the place where they can keep us under control. Now we doing all of the controlling. It's a beautiful time. All right, let me get through these hands, though. Captain America, it's on you.
Oh, hell yeah, man, I agree. It ain't no competition with nobody. We already won it. We won from the beginning, so shit. I land my
Fam. Hey, brother, you cooking. You cooking, brother. Brother, you cooking, fam. You just got to watch the language, family. I'm going to have some children listen to this. Go ahead, though. Say what you got to say. Go ahead, brother. It's on you. You unmuted.
Oh, yeah. Us FBAs, man, it's up from now on, man. You know, they have to realize that it ain't no more playing. You know what I'm saying? We stepping. We don't give a DAM in. We just gonna go and throw it up. So, you know, I respect your space, but I ain't gonna say too much because I want to get loose. I just want you to know, Black Gen Z, we right here behind you. We listening.
Much respect, brother. I got your message too, fam. You know I'm gonna keep rocking and holding everybody down, man. Salute to you, brother. I'm a real one.
Oh, cuz.
35 salute, man. You be good. Be easy out there. Let me get through some of the hands, though, fam. We got a lot of new speakers up here who've been up here for a minute. Okay, let me get to Tormel, FTP. You ain't been seeing no Irish lately, fam, trying to get reparations happening.
Nah, I've been seeing some Caribbeans doing Juneteenth. That's what I've been seeing. But yeah, man, in New Jersey, we had a situation about 3 years ago, and on a Juneteenth day, they had Juneteenth / Afro Caribbean. No, sorry, Juneteenth / Afro Latino day. So we had a day like 3 years ago in there, and I was telling people, I'm like, y'all losing focus on the purpose of it. And we had all the organizations, the NAACP, everybody was back in these Juneteenth celebrations that weren't focused on us. And one of my biggest problems with Juneteenth is before it was government sanctioned, a lot of the coons, the Sambo soldiers, and, they didn't want to touch Juneteenth. So it was a day that we took, you know what I mean? And we would do it, and it was a rebellious state. Now it's all promotional. You can go on Walmart, you can see Juneteenth apparel, and you can see Juneteenth flags, plates, spoons, because it became lucrative. So now everybody's going to want to try and co-opt it and make it their own version, simply because we stood on business from the door and made it something. And the reason they gave us Juneteenth and government sanctioned it, because they never, ever, ever want foundational Black Americans to say we took something on our own. Just like we freed ourselves from slavery. They didn't free us, but they wanted to say that they freed us just so history won't state that we've taken something and made it our own. So I think what we should do is go back to June and just celebrate it on the 19th. And if these tethers and these co-opters want to infiltrate or want to co-opt our day, then take a day off of work. See, it's easy to do it on the weekend or on a national holiday when they already giving you the Monday off. But what if that 19th fall on a Wednesday? We got to be strong enough to say, nah, we're going to, next year, whatever Juneteenth day is on the 19th, we're taking that day off. And we're going to celebrate. We're going to beat the drums. We're going to run through the streets as if it was a weekend day. Most of them aren't going to do that. We're going to let them know that we're serious. This isn't about having a day off or cookout or, and a lot of times too, why they infiltrating it, because a lot of Black small businesses, vendors, and, people, Black entrepreneurs on that day, we make a lot of money. Whether you're selling jewelry, whether you're selling soaps, certain things that we like, shea butter, all these things that we enjoy selling and vending. Juneteenth is a big profitable day, and they're trying to co-opt and take that economic revenue from us in that manner too. So there's a lot of things that's going to come at us, a lot of things that people are going to try to snatch from us. The minute they give it to foundational Black Americans, everybody watching that feel like, now this is something for everybody. All right, they gave it to Black people, so now we can take it. So yeah, we just got to take our own, man, and just watch what they're up to, man, because we see it blatantly. One thing, and I think this is some residue from what they planned on. I don't think that this is something that they just thought of doing as far as co-opting Juneteenth. I think this was planned last year. But what they didn't expect was the delineation to be this thick around this time this year. They didn't expect the delineation to be in full-fledged. So their plan from last year and what they expected to do on Juneteenth this year, they're like, hold up, we're meeting all type of resistance. They didn't expect the delineation. So yet again, checked, yet again put in their place. And we need to stand on business, man, because at the end of the day, we fought to get this day. And if we allow them to just start, and it ain't even about the national holiday. I'm not a fan of the national holiday, because now there's a lot of us who wouldn't have ever had the courage to celebrate Juneteenth. Now they're celebrating it because it's government sanctioned. So yeah, we got to stand on business, man, and just make sure that, every little inch they try to take, we're on their ass. I'm sorry, we're on their behind. I know you got kids listening, but every little inch they try to take, we're on their behind immediately. We're not waiting.
Send us those flyers. Can you send us those flyers that you see in New Jersey?
This was 3 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm an advocate here, so I corrected that.
Okay.
I corrected that. But yeah, it was a full-fledged. They had the the dances, the Afro-Latino Caribbean dances, and it was all a total mixture. Black, white, Mexican, Dominican, they all, and I had to tell, I said, listen, this is not what Juneteenth is. I said, we having Juneteenth celebrations and we don't even have any heritage flags or anything. You guys I've been to a few celebrations and they're not even talking reparations. So, being I am a recognized advocate in New Jersey, they don't even let me speak. They're like, we're gonna keep that rebel rouser away. But they had an Afro-Latino Juneteenth about 3 years ago. I think it was the first year that it was kind of officially sanctioned, government sanctioned, and I think they were like, all right, well, the floodgates are open. And they had an Afro-Latino Juneteenth. And I think that was the beginning of, all right, they're gonna try to co-opt this, man. And like I said, I don't like to fight for it now because it's watered down, but I think that we should take the 19th back to show them that now we're serious. We're willing to take off for this day. We should be taking off, like Brother Marcel said. We should be creating our own days. January 1st, Emancipation Day. I know a lot of people are going to be scared to death to celebrate Malcolm X Day. You know what I mean? So we need to start taking our own days. I would like to have August be the whole month of Foundational Black American Heritage Day. Yeah, we got a Black History Month, but make August Foundational Black American Heritage Day. We need to start taking it. We got so much that we can take that they won't be able to keep up with us. They're not going to be able to keep up with us, and we need to stay keeping them trying to figure out what we're doing. Them co-opted Juneteenth is just a way for them to try to figure out what are they up to next. Okay, that's what they're doing. All right, let's jump in the way. They won't move until we move, until we get something established. They only want to take what we get started. They don't want to start anything on their own. They only want to just take and steal what we start. Oh, what? They did that over there? But hey, everybody, Black people are doing this. Let's go take it. What, boots on the ground? Now you see everybody doing a boots on the ground dance that can't even move a hip. So everything we do, we get started. They're just there to co-opt it. And, I'll land with that. I appreciate the space.
Is it Kyrie? Go ahead, family.
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Good, how are you? Yeah, I was just listening. I was enjoying the space for the conversation. So I think that we should do we should just vote the Congressional Black Caucus because they're not looking for interest.
Really, Troll?
Wait, did you say vote for? Did you say vote for?
No. I said vote them out.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Making sure, sir. I don't want to have to swing my bamboo stick. I'm just making sure, brother.
EJ had it ready. Where you from, family?
I'm not FBA, but I support you guys.
Where you from? I didn't ask you.
Answer the question, sir.
I'm from Canada.
You're from Canada?
Yes.
Where in Canada?
In the GTA, in the Greater Toronto area.
Okay, but where are your people originally from? Where are your great grandparents from? Because I know they're not from Canada.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, so they're from East Africa.
Where in East Africa? Be specific. Name me a place.
What is it?
God damn, breaking it apart like a brick.
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Why is it so hard?
It's Somalia.
What country in East Africa, brother?
Listen.
In Somalia.
Sir, listen.
Yeah.
The easiest thing is know about yourself. Okay? You should know who you are. When you look in the mirror, you know who you are. How old are you?
I'm 27.
So you've had 27 years of knowing who you are, and you still struggle to get through simple questions. I want you to notice how we all speak clearly about where we are. So you're talking about the Black Caucus and support Black people. Well, let me tell you a foundational Black American message, okay? Find out who you are. Quit what, coulda, shoulda, wouldas about who you are, the person in the mirror, before you start concerning yourself with other people from other lineages and their own policies. And by the way, if you're in Canada, why are you concerned with the Black Caucus in the United States of America? But sidebar, I'll put that box to the side. We'll get back to that in a minute. If you know who you are, then you should already have the answers clear. All right. You should already understand, identified as, and where you're from and where your grandparents are from. So back to my original point. Okay. Why are you concerned with what we are doing politically here in the United States of America when you're from Canada? You're from Canada, and your grandparents are from Africa. So I don't know where that is on the map, but it doesn't sound like it's anywhere near the USA. So why are you concerned with foundational Black American issues?
So I was just watching the videos on YouTube because you guys are fighting for reparations,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all. I just want to come and support you guys. That's all.
No, you didn't come to support us. You said what we should do. You made a suggestion. Support means whatever you guys do, I support it. A suggestion means you should do as I say. So we're not going to say the support thing. You didn't come with support. You came with a suggestion, which we call putting your nose in someone else's business. So let's just pretend that you didn't lie to me right there. Why are you making suggestions about what we should do when it doesn't concern you? And those reparations you don't even qualify for. So again, give me the real truth here.
Okay.
Come on now. You're
Yeah, so the reason why I came here is just I just want to listen to you guys and just put my feedback like invoice.
But a minute ago you said you came here to support us. So how do you change so fast in 15 seconds? You said you support us a minute ago, and then when I said no, that's not support, that's a suggestion. Now you're saying you came here for feedback. Feedback is not support. Feedback is a suggestion. So you just kind of flip-flopped right here in front of a bunch of Black Americans, sir. So be honest. Listen, one thing about me, I keep it all the way real. I provide people with the opportunity to say why they're really here. Okay? That's what I do, because I need my brothers and sisters to understand your agenda. And we can never understand your agenda if you're lying. Matter of fact, we will, because we're going to know that you're coming with false energy. So again, why are you concerned and you feel that you have to provide feedback to my lineage here in America? You said it was feedback, support. You said it was this, it was that. Which one is it?
No, I just wanted to support. That's just pretty much it. Like, I don't want to be involved like your fight. But okay, so yeah, I apologize for what you guys are going on. I don't want to be your business. Like, it's for your fight. But that's all I can.
Okay, tell me, say right now. I need you to say, I apologize to you, foundational Black Americans.
I apologize to you, foundational Black Americans,
for being in your business when I shouldn't.
For being involved in your business where I shouldn't.
All right, there you go. The lesson learned. Now you're out the door. Family, Black Alpha's on one today, ain't I? Goddamn, I got a confession and I got an apology. Y'all tell me somebody else who done did that. Nobody. Let's keep the hands rolling. We're not gonna let him talk no more. He's usually gonna sit there and tell us lies. He came up with 30 things. He's from Africa. I don't know where the hell that is. His people from
the Somali region with the foreheads by the village.
I don't know where the hell that's at. Couldn't find that on the map. There's another look like Tether trying to get up here. I think they was trying to do the Tether twins to come on up here. Okay, Mr. Ayo, what's on you, family?
Ayo, peace, fam. Hey, checking in from Virginia, man. Baltimore, all that. Hey, appreciate everything you do, man. I don't hop on the voice thing that often, but yo, I love y'all, man. I love everything we doing as a family. All we gotta do right now is just keep these people out of our business. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we need like another back channel or something like that. Like maybe find like another spot to communicate, because they just keep on interfering in everything we're saying and they're distracting us. But the movement is so good right now that they crashing out, and it's hilarious. Popcorn is popping, man. Yo, shout out to the whole Black media, man. Church, you, Tariq, everybody, man. I love it all, man. I love it. Like every day I go to work, man. I'm a hardworking dude, and I just look at what we doing as a family, and we're not letting them get over on us like we used to. We ain't them old ninjas. You feel me? But just want to check in real quick, man. Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day was meant for our family. I don't know if people know that, man, but it's meant for our family that was fighting for the revolution, back to the British Revolution, to the Civil War, to all the wars, man. Yo, we just got to be proud of our lineage and just stop letting people come in and interfere all the damn time and try to tell us what to think and how to feel. Nah, just keep them out of our conversation, keep them out of our thoughts, and just really, like you said, like we keep on saying, sinners is the truth, yo. They would drain the life and soul and suck it out of us because they know that we all have our little vices, but success, that's all we need to focus on. Family, success, and lineage, man. FBA all day. Appreciate you, bro. Love you.
Certified salute to you, family. Yeah, my brother made a good point. Did we just have some of the vampires come knocking, and did we kick their straight out? Did the vampires pull up, fam, with some mayo in hand? Oh, this ain't no movie. This real life. This is what we do, y'all, when all the vampires and the sinners come knocking at that door. They don't come on in. I don't give a damn if it's a juke joint, a club. I don't care if it's a family reunion, a barbecue, or if it's a damn space. They came up in here and we sent their ass right on out. And by the way, my DMs is blowing up right now because I got a lot of the Mayo Mafia and the Brussels Sprouts Brigade, and they in there mad as hell trying to come to the defense because they seen one of their fallen comrades and he shook all up and he hurt. But that's what happens when you deal with Black Alpha, man. You know we gonna regulate, we gonna stand on FBA business, and all we gonna do is win. And we just won, and we gonna keep this thing going. My brother Sage want to cook real quick. Sage, I know you got something to say, family, so go ahead, my good brother.
No, I know that dude. I see that dude Peter is still in here. I would love to definitely have a conversation with him. He tried to claim, solidarity, but when we had the numbers game running in Harlem, they came and how's everything, bro? They came and took that from us. So this is things that I just don't like. Revisionist history is not cool with me. So that's something that we need to address on Front Street. There's a lot of figures, mobster figures that were very racist, including John Gotti. That's why he got his ass handed to him in the prison. But we'll leave that alone until next time. With that, I'm laying.
Appreciate you, brother. That's my brother right there. Shout out to you, family. Let's see. Boykin, go ahead.
Hi, Black Alpha, Queen Alpha. Greetings to everybody, all the speakers, and everyone in the room. You know something? I am so glad that this madness is coming to an end. You know what really got these people all crashing out? First, it was sinners. Next, when the Joe Biden, that announcement finally came out. Then that plantation in Louisiana burnt to the ground with all the ancestors cakewalking and doing the dance of Jubilee and people taking photos of this. Now Trump throwing out all of them foreign nationals, illegals and otherwise. And they can't cope right now. They can't even put anything on us anymore because it's all their fault. Those judges, those lawyers that were hiding out, those illegals, those businesses, those banks, those property management groups that was giving them money, and those nonprofit agencies, all of that's Mayo madness. Check this out. I learned today that California is getting ready to cut illegals off of Medicare, Medicaid finally. You know why? Because Gavin Newsom realized the jig is up. Trump has cut off all of that federal money. The people in the California state legislature realize they're getting ready to get cut off of their money too, because they're getting ready to lose their seats. Oh man, this is a beautiful day. You know what? As this plantation burns down, I got my marshmallows and I'm roasting them right now. It's a beautiful thing.
Appreciate you, sister. Hey, it's all a celebration, fam. I wanted to have this so we can celebrate. And it's easy, man. We make it look too smooth. But let's go through the hands real quick. But I have to send this to my brother, Torian Rains. We got Torian Rains on the stage, y'all. So this is a real big occasion. Torian, my brother, it's on you, family, if you're there.
What's going on?
Shout out to you, fam. The floor is yours.
To echo what the previous caller just said, because she literally just said what I was going to say. I said, I don't know what's going on in the air. I don't know if the planets are in alignment or what, but this past week has been something interesting between the plantation down in Louisiana, that house in DC. Then don't forget about the tree that fell on that Confederate museum. Who would have thought one tree would have knocked down that whole structure? Just one tree. Like that just shows me that thing wasn't structurally held up. If one tree could take that thing out. But it looked like it was a shack anyway, so there's that. Then you have Scott Adams announcing that he has that same form that Joe Biden has, and we ain't forget what he said a couple years ago about black people. Then you had that guy down there in Holly Springs, Mississippi, who caught a beat down and practically a strip down too. And I said to myself, if that guy had any open wounds, I know he was stinging because they was pouring beer and liquor on him. So I know he was probably feeling the burn literally as that was going on. I said, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on, but like the McDonald's jingle says, ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving it.
My brother Torian Reigns. We got to add one more to that too, fam. We can't forget
Who's that?
Lanier.
Who's that?
Lake Lanier.
Oh yeah. See, we keep trying to tell people stop going to that lake. I said they want to go. I said, me personally, I wouldn't even drive past that lake, but y'all want to go out there and experiment. I said, have at it. I said, Lake Lanier is undefeated, like the internet. It done claimed another soul, but y'all want to willingly go out there and literally test those waters, and the ancestors are testing you back, and you're losing every single time. I feel like there's another. I feel like it's something else that I'm missing. There's so much that's been happening. Oh, I got another one for you. I actually did a video about this today. Kid Rock, he has a restaurant. Literally, I think it's called Tonk or something like that. That's the only he would come up with something like that. Apparently, he had to close his restaurant for a whole day recently because they were doing ICE raids, and apparently a majority of his staff are illegals. And they told him not to come to work that day. So that means they lost a whole day of business because they were doing ICE raids.
Damn. Amongst everything that's going on right now, fam, Memorial Day, this has been epic for the dominant society crashing out right now, y'all. I mean, they crashing out, falling down. I told y'all that mail jar is broken. It's all over the walls, all over the floor. Can't find the goddamn victory.
They even getting upset because, you know, shout out to all. First of all, also let's shout out to all the Black people that are graduating, you know, from college. Some of them graduating debt free. Some of them graduating with high honors. Some going to college with multi-million dollars worth of scholarships. People becoming doctors and lawyers and all types of stuff. Passing bar exams. I saw remember the picture of the young lady who took the picture that she had like the little piece of the grill in her mouth. And they got so upset by that. They're like, I wouldn't even have her operate on me. When's the last time you had a Black operate on you and nothing went wrong? Meanwhile, we can literally go through a Rolodex of how many doctors done screw some of y'all up to the point where you didn't even make it off the table. Then I saw another one recently today where this young lady, she was graduating from, I don't know what college she was graduating from, but she posted up a video, I guess, on TikTok. In her commencement ceremony, they were playing or performing the national anthem, and she recorded a video of herself literally saying, I will not stand for this. And man, once the usual suspects got a hold of it, they crashed out. I mean, they were talking about trying to send her to Liberia, saying Lincoln didn't for this, or I'm going to make sure if it was up to me, she wouldn't have a job because she didn't stand for the anthem. She didn't even have to say one word, just one caption and one action. And they crashed out all over social media about that. Well, mainly on here.
They crashing out left and right, family. When I say they crashing out left and right every day, literally, like my brother Torian just said, every day we done woke up, it's been something else. And notice all of the L's are on the male side of the fence. And we over here just shining. It's a beautiful day, fam.
It really is. But that's all I got to land my plane right there.
Shout out to my brother Torian Reigns, man. That's the great Torian Reigns, fam. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Let's get through the hands, fam. Okay, let me get my brother Thriller, and then I'm going to send it to our brother Twizzle. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question I forgot to ask because this had been bothering me for the last couple of months about those young twins. I think they came up missing down there in Georgia. I haven't heard anything about that since. You know what's up with that, Black Alpha, and I dropped the mic right there.
Much respect, family. Yeah. See, what ended up happening with that situation, obviously everybody tries to know that they say one brother did it to the other brother. We all know that's a lie. That's a cap. They have, because brothers and sisters started going down there, and brothers and sisters was really trying to find out what's happening. So they have completely blacked out all information. And some of the people that I know, same thing with a lot of cases, they'll give you these redacted files. So people are trying to use the Freedom of Information Act to get everything. And they're so tight-lipped and they won't say a damn thing what's truly happening there. But I know personally some brothers and sisters who have made it that way, which is in northern Georgia, which is about 4 hours from me. They made it that way, and they really out there in the streets, and they pressing folks to find out what's happening. It's the same thing that happened down here with the Noah Bush situation with the little brother. It's going to take the streets to really get out there and turn up to get all the facts. Sooner or later, they're going to have to run it, and they're going to have to give it up. And then I believe that we'll all find out exactly what we suspected, and that there was foul play. And from what I've heard is that there have been some real funny issues with the way these people have hid things, the way they said the brothers got from one location to the other. It's just a mess. And anytime you see a mess, then you already know the hands of supremacy are at play. Only difference is now we can have these conversations, and we got brothers and sisters boots on the ground. It's more than just a dance, but brothers and sisters boots on the ground who are finding out and figuring out what happens. Because I know down here in South Georgia with the Noah Bush situation, it was the streets that ended up getting these videos released about what they did to our young brother. It was the streets who pressed up on the department, and it was the streets that got everybody running and hiding. So that's pretty much the most information that I've seen, but obviously it's a moving situation, but it's key on everybody. And I say this to the whole family, that we stay focused on these stories, because what they like to do is have things happen, and then when we quit talking about it, it kind of goes away. You know, that's kind of what they're doing with the Carmelo Anthony situation. Everybody's seen breaking news today that they're charging Carmelo with first degree, you know what I'm saying? And they do that when the cameras aren't rolling, or when they think the cameras aren't rolling. So it's very prevalent that all the brothers and sisters, we stay on stories and don't just let them fly by night. Like my brother Torian, he puts in work. One thing about my brother Torian is Torian to cover a story when the cameras is rolling and the cameras ain't rolling. And that's how we got to continue to do it, because folks love to hit play and press play and watch something when it's trending. But it's when it's not trending is when they start doing all this trickery. So we watching that situation. And I know I'm right here, all eyes on that, as well as some of the other strange things that are going on. So shout out to all my brothers and sisters who keep an eye on everything. And I know as soon as I get intel, I'm going to report. I was the one who put out the camera footage down here in Georgia when we seen that the mother of those two baby supremacists that harmed and unalived our young brother, I'm the one who put out the footage, the camera footage of the mother being there on the scene of the crime. And I did that when nobody was really watching the case. So I'm going to continue to follow that case, as well as other cases, as well as the Carmelo case. So that's one thing we're going to continue to do and watch it and everything. But let me say this about the Carmelo Anthony situation. I want to say this, okay? They ended up charging our brother with first degree. And they're, trying to charge him as an adult because he was 17 when the situation occurred. Now he's 18. One of the things that I believe is going to happen is, in the state of Texas, first degree means that it was premeditated. And there's by no means that they're going to be able to prove that that was a premeditated situation, because it was aggressed upon him the moment that it occurred, and it was clearly a self-defense. So I believe that they just themselves in the foot with that one. And I believe that our brother will get off as long as we in the grassroots don't allow them to railroad him. So we have to keep all eyes on it. Now, if we take our eyes off the Carmelo Anthony situation, they'll just make something up and they'll pull a I'm W and I say so. But y'all seen the same way I just ran out the mafia. Now it's I'm FBA and I say so. I'm certified and I say so. So it's going to be our way, the way the things unfold. So we got to continue to watch that situation as well as other situations, and just make sure that whatever unfolds, we on the front line of it. And shout out to everybody who puts in work, not just people who have internet shows and they don't ever really go outside and they just talk and press play and they just do news and views. I'm talking about the real activists, not the internet talkers, the activists who are really out there acting and putting in work and being brothers and sisters who put it all on the line, myself as well as a few others. So shout out to us, shout out to y'all, and shout out to everybody who keep them cameras rolling, because anytime you look away, the enemy gonna try to slide, and we ain't letting nothing slide in this era. Twizzle, it's on you, family.
Hey, I'm gonna pass the mic. I'm doing something right quick. I'll be right back, man. Go ahead. I don't want to hold the space. Go ahead, Black Alpha. Shout out to the room. Shout out to Tori, man.
Shout out to you, brother. You know you spot ready when you come back, family. Always love when you cook. EJ, it's on you, my good brother.
All right, thank you, brother. The black fatigue has definitely been showing up in the space, especially for that dude who came here earlier. I wanted to ask him something too, because he was getting bodily objects, sprayed on his face and stuff. I was wondering, since he was talking about the whole Diddy trial, was he in that room when we was hearing screams allegedly with Diddy? He was talking about baby oil and stuff. But besides that, this just goes to show you that when they come into our spaces, they be wasting time, be trying to come with us with these fake alliances. But you go on their timeline, they practicing anti-Black American, which I should say anti-foundational Black American, rhetoric. They practicing racism like they always been doing. And it's such a shame that you'll have people following these premises too. You'll be having these people listening to their notifications, and they be calling us all types of derogatory names. These are people that will harm your kids for free. I just get so distraught with some of us within our community, following these people, listening to these folks on the app and listening to their spaces. And it's the same thing with some of these people. They might got different faces. They got the same talking points, but most of the time They just do the same thing in these spaces, and it just goes to show you that some of us like the attention from these premises, and some of us can just get in and get out, and just stay on point in certain situations like this. When it comes to the Mayo community, the Tethers are like that too. They want to be under the so you don't really see a lot of them coming up into the space and trying to get that fly swatter. Within our community, we got to definitely separate the real people from the fake people, because we got $5 FBAs that have been amongst us for the longest within these spaces. Come to find out, these people have been lying about their lineage, and they definitely have been faking the funk. So we have a lot of agents amongst us, but I'm the type of person that just keep it real and just stay to myself, and just I stick with people that I've been listening to for the past couple of years. Definitely you, Black Alpha. Your roasting capabilities are top tier. And Torian Rain, I haven't really listened to you before, but from the reputation that I've been hearing for you, brother, you always been putting in work. And that just goes to show you that us within the Black American grassroots, it's going to take us as a community to give our brothers and sisters that love and grace that they truly deserve. But I'm going to land my plane there.
Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you, family. Shout out to everybody. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to reset the room, fam, because it's been high voltage since we started off, okay? And the main point that we talk about when we highlight that is that everywhere you see them, you're going to see them together, because tethers are the recruits by Mayos so they can try to elevate them above foundational Black Americans. That's the main reason why they're here. Trust me. You think the dominant society gives a damn about these people? You really think the dominant society care about these people from these villages or whatever? They only have one use. And that use is to come here and to be elevated above FBA, because they make a simple conscious decision. They say, if somebody's going to be here in America, let's go get the people who are docile, the people who are subservient, the people who will go along to get along and do what we tell them to do. They know foundational Black Americans have never been on that time. And this dates back years ago, thousands of years ago. They've always had this mentality of trying to stop the people who are about that life. So the fact that we have always been the only lineage, let's make this clear, okay? There's not another one. You'll never find another lineage that stands up to global supremacy, all right? The dominant society in supremacy is one lineage away from world domination. All right. And that only lineage that's standing there is foundational Black Americans. You can't find another. I will spot you the whole planet Earth. You got 7 billion people to find. And I guarantee you, you will not see anybody else who as a collective stands on business to prevent that domination from the system of supremacy. It's only foundational Black Americans. But see, our problem back in the old days is that we were the lineage that always fought global supremacy. And we thought we was going to fight it by aligning ourselves with all these other people. It used to be this notion and this adage that when these people come here, they're coming as like recruits on our side. They never came here to align themselves with foundational Black Americans. Actually, they have a puppet minion contract that they signed with the dominant society. And that contract consists of, you are to come down on Black Americans, you are to prevent Black Americans, and you are to practice the same exact anti-Black racism that the dominant society does. And in return, you will receive luxuries and benefits for your work. That's what the contract has always been between the vampires and the tether vampires, to try to suck the life away from what foundationals have created. We got on code and we prevented all of that from happening. And we've made more progress in the last few years than folks made in the last 100 years. So since we did that, we threw a wrench in the game. Everything's changed up now. They can't find nothing. All right. They ain't got a pot in the window to throw it out. And all the other went on that dude earlier because he admitted that he likes it that way. All right. So that's them, fam. That's how they get down. That's how they operate. That ain't how foundational Black Americans do all that. You feel me? They over there dusty and musty. All right. Dirty and ain't worthy. We over here shining and grinding and putting in work, and we ain't gonna stop. So now we've been on code. You see the ancestors working with us. And since the ancestors are working with us, they putting in their work. And they're trying to make it about everything other than what it was. When you are on sync and you got everything going, man, it's a beautiful world. That's why, brothers and sisters in this chat, we've all had the same energy and we all are seeing the same thing. When you got about 50 million foundationals and we all seeing the same thing, but we're seeing it from different areas, different regions, different states, oh, trust and believe something's happening. There's a force right now. When you look at your brothers and sisters out here in the streets, they know what time it is. We done separated the real from the fake, y'all. the certifieds from the counterfeits, the artificial from the authentic. We done separated all of those. We done put lines in the sand. We done put boundaries up, and our space can't be penetrated. And that's why the movie Sinners had so many people upset, because they understood that that was a metaphor. That was an allegory for what we got going on. Every time we in a space, these people pop up. But the only difference between the movie and real life is that when we pop out, they asses got to go. They kick rocks, they bounce, or they're going to get thrown out the club. And we've been like bouncers, fam. We've been throwing their asses out the club. And it's a beautiful thing. So this is why you're seeing the success that you're seeing. And that's why I always tell everybody, it is truly foundational Black Americans against the world. And we always win by a knockout. And right now, they knocked out.